It's the whole time. Yeah, that's what he did. And messed up, like, he say he from up there where y'all at. He say he from New York. Well, upstate.
Upstate New York? Nah, we don't claim that.
Screaming at the top of your lungs don't make you that guy. Try to watch my style of replay, it don't make you fly. Don't take a break, cause the fake like the snake. When the big dog away, all they do is clout chase. When I enter the room, all they do is bout face. Put them lions on my back, then ball with the minister. Side put me on now, everybody wanna mimic you. Yeah, I thought I told you we the toughest here. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy, you ain't really woke. He showed up to debate, but he choked. No money in his pocket, boy broke. Shit, the only thing he can teach is hope. Kill a spider, drown a fish, stomp a rose, do something. But don't come on sa.neter with the stunt. Everybody over here getting money. Touche hit me up, told me gon' run it. Guess I'm Carl Lewis. You looking dumb foolish. Nigga way upstate making soft music. Boy, this the toughest environment, show you how to do it. Mr. Toughest environment, show you how to do it. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy, you ain't really woke. He showed up to debate, but he choked. No money in his pocket, boy broke. Shit, the only thing he can teach is hope. We be on the scene, niggas screen our shit. We the toughest you done seen, we the big boy clique. If he really want smoke, I pull up with him. Toughest environment, smoke city. I can tell by your energy, you ain't really woke. He showed up to debate, but he choked. No money in his pocket, boy broke. Shit, the only thing he can teach is hope.
Peace, family. What's going on, y'all? How's everybody doing out there? I'm a day behind. I'm thinking the day was Wednesday and shit. That's how hard I be working. I was earlier I was trolling Captain Cesario. I was on Captain Cesario channel. I was just trolling, joking around. But I'm trying to get him over here. Once he come over here and do a show with me on the Gentiles, I beat him up. I will beat him up because I got my PowerPoint over here. See, over there, I can't share my screen and all that. I got to be able to share the screen, because everybody should know by now that salvation is for everybody. So, how's everybody doing out there, man? KD Michelle, I see you. I see you in the building. I'm waiting on my guest. My guest supposed to be Dr. Reggie. Reggie hit me up earlier today. All right. The dude said this channel is this channel is becoming sad. At this point, everyone knows what FBA is. Nah, that's not true, bro. Everyone don't know, man. That's not true. Everybody don't know what FBA is, man. So why don't you come on and Tell us a little something. Tell me a little something about what is FBA. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. I'm waiting on my brother Reggie to come on through. He should be in the house right now. The link is in the chat, y'all. You got an opportunity to come on before Reggie comes in. All right, Reggie, where you at, bro? Dr. Reg, I started the show. I want you to know that. All you got to do is hit that link and come on in.
All right, we'll hit it in 5 minutes.
Where you at? You still outside?
No, I'm home. I just got to download something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just if you're on, just talk about we need to clear this up.
All right, I got you.
I'm coming on right now.
Got you.
Okay.
All right, as y'all can hear, Dr. Reggie will be coming in a minute. I'm gonna just say, you can run, but you can't hide FBA. FBA, where you at? You got to come on out and defend yourself. Dr. Reggie calls out the Notorious Foundation, Black American. The Notorious Foundation of Black American. Yeah, let me put of in there. FBA, Foundational Black American. Foundational of Black American. No, don't put the of in there. The Notorious Foundational Black Americans. Okay. Yeah, so Dr. Reggie's calling them out, man. Anyone want to step up to the plate? Anyone? No, you know what? We don't really want anyone because there's a lot of ignorant ones out there. You know, it's some out there that, you know, that don't know nothing, that didn't even finish high school and nothing like that. We want someone that knows how to defend it, that's, you know, very educational. That's what we're looking for. Not just anyone. All right? Not just anyone. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. And it's pinned at the top of the chat. Suntan, what's up, brother? What's happening with you? Oh, you talking on the phone, Suntan?
Yeah, I was talking to one of my heating and cooling fellas, man. They got this new furnace out. They didn't put a computer board on there, so it kind of confused me because that was the first time I ever seen one, but I knocked it out. I'll be putting in furnaces, hot water tanks, stuff like that. Yeah,
Dr. Reggie is calling out FBA, anyone.
Hey, right.
Not just anyone, but he wants somebody that's top dog.
Well, I got something for him because he's been hollering this for the last 2 days.
What you got for him, Suntan?
Present is on my share my screen. Because it ain't no gotcha moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
He talking about it's not a lineage and how do you use lineages and look it up, you know, and a lineage is just what we said it was, just what Tyreek said it was, a sequence of ancestors and descendants, a group descended from a single ancestor or a specific company logic, you know, it goes off into nuances, but the main thing is, and this is from the Oxford Dictionary. You see what I'm saying? I went to the Oxford and I went to the regular dictionary. Lineage, you read what it said, don't you, Si?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, what is he talking about? So I want to talk to Brother Reggie. What you know, what's the contents you want to put it in, because it can contain a few contents, but it's a logistic of food and supply chain industrial. You know, we ain't going off into that lineages. Then it say the term is used biology, you know, in biology, anthropology. You see what I'm saying? So it's scientific. Mm-hmm. It's a scientific term as well as a broad term. You know, and then to be honest with you, like when I was listening to Tariq, I pulled away for the simple fact that that's why I never mentioned it around y'all. You ain't never hear me talking about no FBA. You know?
Okay.
But I know a lot. I know a lot about it. I know about Ados, Tone, Yvette. I know about all of that.
All right, what kind of hat is that, family? Oh, okay. It's a mink hat. I could let the ears come down. I could take it apart, take this off, and bring it down. It's mink and leather mixed. You know?
That's what the Russians wear.
And believe me, this joint is mad warm. It keeps my whole head warm. So it's a mink, you know? And it goes with my coat. I don't wear my coat, but I would wear the hat. I don't wear the coat because I'm not going out nowhere. Like if me and my wifey go out to dinner or anything, she'll throw on her little fox, I throw on the mink, and we go out and chill.
Right.
So you don't need to know how much. I don't have enough. I need some money, man. Anyway, let me bring on Dr. Reggie. Reggie is in the building. So Suntan.
Yes, sir.
You be able to it's up to you. It's up to Reggie. If he want to see Reggie, you've been asking him to define lineage. And so Suntan came straight up in here with his information before you get started. Suntan, read it to Dr. Reggie, brother.
And Dr. Reggie, this is from the it's from Oxford, the Oxford Dictionary, the Oxford definition. A lineage can refer to a sequence of ancestors and descendants, a group descended from a single ancestor, or specified, you know, it goes off into nuances, a specified company, logistic, and food supply chain industry. The term used in biology to face evolution history, and genetics to follow a specific genetic sequence, and a social scientist to define kinship, and distant groups in broader sense. It also refers to data, lineage, or origin, and derivation of something. And Reggie, when, like I'm saying, I was with Tariq, like in 2019, like you know, when it first started, when he was beefing with Yvette and Tone and them from Ados, right? So I was hearing everything about it, and I wasn't ever because Reggie, you don't know me for FBA because I just had that under my, you know, I was just something that I was following until I, you know, reached more to ancient history. That's where I had encountered you at in 2016 and stuff like that. But I stuck more to that. I was going back and forth. My whole point is this. I know what's going on with it, and it's not as big and blown as everybody making it. You know what I'm saying? They just taking this thing and running with it like it's a big parade balloon when it's not. It's just a hustle, like you kind of said, and some other people said. Not, I won't say hustle, but we owed this money, and Tariq is the type of hustling guy who want to get what's owed to him. And he got lawyers and all of this sort of stuff that's working with him. See, he keep that stuff in house.
All right, time out, man. I gotta cut in here.
Go ahead.
I keep on sitting on the brother who is a good hustler. Don't hate on the good hustler, brother. Get your money, Tariq Nasheed.
Right.
We gotta stop that, man. Oh, he just want money. We all want money.
Right.
All of us do. And we gotta stop that. Because you don't say a damn thing with the Chinese restaurant in your community. They in your community, why? Because they want money. You got McDonald's in your hood, in your community, why? Because they want money. You got the Arabs all of in our hood, why? Because they want money. But when there's a black man or a black woman trying to get money the legit way. He ain't robbing nobody. He ain't stealing from nobody.
Right.
He's giving content, and it's up to you if you want to get it or not. He ain't got no gun to your head. He ain't making you do it. So we got to stop that, man, about, oh, he just want money. I want some goddamn money. Is it wrong for me to want money?
Right. We need money.
I got to put food on the table.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with the brother Tariq Nasheed making $1. Ain't nothing wrong with that. A lot of, when I say you, I'm not talking about you, Suntan. You just mad because you don't know how to get the money.
Right.
He do. He do.
And he got the heart to go do it.
Right. All right.
So,
with that, Reggie, do you want to respond to Suntan?
Okay, great. Peace to the family, first of all. Hope everybody is safe and their family is safe. And it's always great to be on Black News 102, sa.neter Studios, House of Consciousness. And Suntan, I am glad that you're in. My presentation today and my talk is not about banging on our brother Tariq Nasheed at all.
right.
Right? That's not the point. But the point is that sometimes we, like Suntan was saying, Elder Suntan was saying, we don't know the history. Now, the problem is with this is that we are asking the government of the United States, whether federal, state, local government, to give us reparations. And according to the Foundation of Black Americans, the group, that they have been the loudest voice on reparations in the last 5 years. The loudest voice, louder than ADOS, louder than the Institute of the Black World, louder than any of the court cases, louder than Attorney Ogletree, louder than Claude Anderson, right? And so this is a new generation of people who claim that they could give us or deliver reparations to us. Does that sound clear?
It's clear.
Okay. So the new reparations argument started when the American descendants of slavery, that group of people, Yvette Cornell and
Right.
Tone, attorney, who's an attorney, began to make a case for reparations, and their strategy largely seemed to lobby elected officials, right? All the while HR 40 was still on, but there was nothing happening with HR 40. HR 40 was a congressional proposal to study reparations. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Congress, who we have a minority in Congress, and we have definitely a minority in the Senate. There's only ever 3 Black faces in the Senate, right? Post Reconstruction era, that we know that Congress and the Senate is not going to give us reparations. And even if they did, then it would have to be lawful enough for the Supreme Court to weigh in, and then to the president to vote it and not veto it. There's about 150 white Americans in the United States, more, really 150 to 180. There is roughly now 66 million Latinos in this country. There is roughly 45 million of us mixed in with a few other groups. There's roughly about 12 million Caribbean Black Americans in this country, and there's roughly maybe about 6 million Africans in this country. This issue of how the foundational Black American put together their thinking is why I'm here today. I'm here today because we hear terms, these are great buzzwords: lineage, delineation, and you talked about lineage, and we're going to go deeper into that. Delineation. They talk about reparations, but we haven't seen any plan whatsoever to get reparations. Sometimes it seems like the people that they're banging on, or the people, meaning the elected officials, many of them are Black, many of them are Democrats, right? The people in commissions, those groups of people, they are the ops, right? But those are the people that will deliver or could deliver reparations. Does that sound correct?
Sure.
Okay, wonderful. So then now, so you don't have a plan, but you want the people who you're banging on to deliver reparations for you. Then there's another part of this. It's that you are asking the government to give you something, but you have to ask them in a way in which they can give it to you, right? Based on the laws of this country. Now, there is something called the 14th Amendment, right? And with that, there's something called the Equal Protection Laws. And the Equal Protection Laws say that you can't give, you have to treat everybody equally, and you can't give a group of people based on ancestry and being and claiming that they're Black, right? Anything. When that does happen in the local governments or anywhere, federal government, anywhere, in any government, when they are trying to give you something that they may not be able to give to you because of the equal protection, then there are groups of people called equal protection groups, and they charge suit based on the current law of the United States. And then when they call suit, they use something called strict scrutiny. Strict scrutiny is when now the government, who wants to give a group of people something that goes against the equal protection laws, then the government is the defendant, and the government now has to show local, city, state government, or federal programs have to show why they can give this particular group based on how they're composed, of what their theory is, their legal theory is, reparations. And then they have to, and then, so they're on the defense. And in this legal area that we're in, this legal kind of era that we're in, we find that even those successful studies that have brought cases to give our people reparations, right? They're not narrowly suited enough, and that they get sued, and now the courts go against even the programs and the local governments, and so they make them rewrite. Currently, right now, probably the only one that's given some limited reparations is in Asheville, North Carolina. So then that goes to say that, wow, this is 2025. We're the most high-tech version of our ancestors. We're the ones that our ancestors prayed for. And yet we're not studying law. And we may be asking the government to give us something in a way that they can't give it to us. Now, I'm not saying that we cannot get reparations. I've studied reparations for a long, long time. I've written articles on reparations. I've testified on reparations, and you're going to hear about that. But one of the big mistakes that FBA is doing is that you have to know that they started not independently, they started under ADOS, the American Descendants of Slavery. And then when they started there, what they did was Tariq is a very bright person. He's extremely bright. Don't get it twisted. He's extremely bright. In the past, Brother Tariq Nasheed would come to my elders, and when I mean my elders, is the people that I have worked with for many years and people that I've known. And he has come to them and he's talked to them about advice and things like that. And he's gathered it in his own ideas about how he wanted to present this. And that's okay. But at some point, there's checks and balances. Yes?
Let me say this, Reggie. You mentioned something that's important. When he was with ADOS, right? He left because they was trying to say that it was a group. So that's when Tariq veered off. Because like I said, I was there, but I wasn't just listening, trying to find out what it's all about. But once Tone and them started making it like an event, they started making it like sort of like people trying to say it should be today, but giving positions and calling it a big thing, a gang, not a gang, but a reparations sponsor kit. He said, I'm not in I don't want, this is nothing you sign up for, just something that you do because of the lineage. So I just had to put that in because you're exactly right. He started with ADOS, and
Yes.
Tariq just broke away because of the attention that they was bringing, trying to be, when they gave meetings, they was trying to act like he the president, Yvette is this, it was just, they were trying to make it like that.
It was just order. That's all. They was trying to bring order, and that was a good thing. And hold on, Reggie. Let me see what Khalif wants, man. Khalif, the young brother's here. Do you have a question for Reggie, brother?
You muted or something.
Nah, you're not muted. We can't hear you.
Oh.
Nah, you might have to go out and come back in.
We cannot hear you. There's nothing we can do about it. Please,
yeah, you got to go out and come back in.
Please, thank you. There's nothing we can do.
And don't forget, Reggie's calling out all FBI. FBA, I mean.
I'm calling him out step by step.
You calling who out?
Foundational Black Americans.
Okay, there you go.
Step by step.
Not just anybody. You gotta have.
No.
Okay. You gotta have some.
Okay. So here's the deal. So Suntan is, I will say, right about the narrative. But when you leave an organization and you create, ADOS, to its credit, is an actual organization.
Yeah.
It has board members. It has president, vice president. It has an organizational structure. It's I think it's a 501c3, right? It is a real organization. Foundational Black Americans is a social movement, has no clear leadership.
Right. It's all over the place.
But Tariq is, in fact, the kind of like thinker.
Yeah, the spokesman.
Right. He's a spokesperson of this social media group. He does the signal boosting. He gives them the kind of the lines. And
Reggie, and they are proud. They are proud to say they're not organized. We are not an organization.
Right.
Yeah.
You see the comment on the screen?
Because that was Tariq's narrative.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if you are not organized and you don't have a plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
Because then it doesn't deliver anything. See, when our ancestors, when they got autonomy in this country, they created the African Union, the African Benevolent associations. They created the African Free Lodge. They created the first, the AME, African Methodist. They named their organizations and they named them African, right? They solved those problems early on.
Hey,
Right?
hold on, Reggie. Let me see if this brother's a FBA. My brother, are you FBA, brother?
I'm not completely FBA, but I can understand the cause.
Okay.
It kind of makes sense to me.
So when a person, a young brother whose moniker is a young brother with a pose, I don't know if he has a cigarette in his hand, that might be okay for his personal life. He says we're not an organization. You could take that off because I don't want to see that anymore, and I don't want to see. You could take them off. If you're not an organization, then you can't go to a lawyer.
Mm.
Right? You can't do any law. You can't do you're not recognized. You must be recognized in this country, in this law, to move forward, right? They have to make sure that it's just who's the head, who's talking, right? Who's going to pay me, right? Reparations suits, right, are very expensive, right? There has to be a structure. We can't live in a world in 2025 where we don't structure ourselves, but all of our other organizations are structured. The Organization of Afro-American Unity was structured, right? Almost all of our major civil rights organizations were structured, right? We got to be crystal clear that in this particular era that we're in with law, that debate, the beginning of it is structure. We can't think that just because you yell, scream, and march, and many of us have protested, been on the front line, right? But and the only times that we didn't want to create an organization is because the government would retaliate against us, right? But in this particular case, they're asking the government to give our people something. And the problem is if that's what you want to work with the government to give us something, then you have to be structured. It doesn't make any sense. Or what they're doing is they want to control the people who are actually doing the work. They want to be boots on the ground and hold the people who is actually doing the work accountable, but they're a hodgepodge nilly group with different ideas. Now, I see some people on here. Notorious, she is always my co-host, right? There's David Walker, who I met before, and I was asking David Walker about law and reparations, and we'll see if he did some research today. But let me just continue my presentation. And then Khalif was waiting. Khalif is the truth seeker, my brother, with the American flag, with a well, first, Khalif, are you a FBA?
Yeah, I'm foundational Black American.
Great. Are you a Native American?
I have Native American lineage, yes.
Okay, so this movement that we're in, asking for reparations, we're asking reparations for your Native American ancestry, or are we asking reparations for your ancestry that was involved in the slave trade, descendants of Africans that were involved in the slave trade? What are you doing?
I'm foundational Black American.
Okay. That don't mean nothing to me.
You just
right?
asked me.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I asked you a question on reparations.
No, you asked me, am I trying to fight for Native Americans to get reparations, or am I trying to fight for the enslaved people?
Yes.
And I answered with, I'm foundational Black American. So that's the answer to your question.
Okay, that's not an answer.
I just said foundational Black Americans. You asked
That's
me.
not an answer.
What? Ask your question again, Reggie.
Okay. My question is on the issue of reparations.
Okay.
Who are the reparations going to go to?
I just told you, foundational Black Americans.
Okay. Who are the foundational Black Americans?
You know who the foundational
No,
Black
I'm asking you.
The people who are descendants of enslaved people in this country, the United States, the corporation of America.
Enslaved people. Are you talking about the Africans who came on the slave ships, or are you talking about Native Americans also?
No.
I don't believe all of us came off.
Okay, great. Okay, so
I believe some of us was still here, was already here.
Okay. You believe that you have a belief there. You have a belief. Is that you say all of us? The majority.
It's not
of
a
us,
belief. It's a fact. I'm foundational Black American. It's a fact that we were. A lot of us was already here.
Can you give me a book? Can you give me a book that says that? A source.
Some point of reference.
Yes, Beyond Bilal by Mustafa Briggs, and it goes deep into depth about the history of Black Muslims in the Americas before the Columbus came over here.
Right, but they have nothing to do with Native Americans.
You just told me to give you a book about what I just said. You didn't say anything about Native Americans pertaining.
No, you brought in another party, which is Muslims. I wanted a fact.
No, I was telling you that the fact is that it's explaining that Black presence was here already in the Americas before Columbus. Mm-hmm. That's my point. And you said,
no, I heard your point. I listened very well.
Nah, but I'm saying though, I need you to keep listening though. This is
no, you know what? sa.neter, take them off.
Take them off.
Reggie.
No, take them off.
Reggie, you don't want to take the young brother off.
No, because I can talk to other people. Let's
just put them on mute. I mean, let's go to the next man.
Right.
I wouldn't say, you don't want to get rid of
the specific questions. I didn't get into my presentation. The problem is that when you're asking for reparations, you're asking for reparations for a particular harm to a particular group of people based on that particular type of harm, right? So the problem is in the courts systems, right? And even when programs are trying to deliver reparations, there is something called a class, because these kind of contexts are a class. And they have to be specific as to who the award is going to and for what reason.
All right. And hold on, Reggie. Would you like to do your presentation first before you open up for questions?
No, I'm just triaging the people that's here and just keep the people that is here.
Yeah.
Right here. Don't let nobody on and let me get through them. And what we're going to do is, like, for example, Brother Khalif, my looks may deceive my age. I'm 60 years old. I'm college educated. I've been educated by some of the greatest Black minds in the United States, right? I've been mentored. I'm one of the people who they produce. I have written on reparations. I'm published, right? And I just wrote a paper to the New York State Commission on Reparations. I have, right? So so what I say is based on my work, right? And so most of the time that I talk to people, they have no work. They have ideas. They just have no work. So when I ask questions, I would this is practice, because the European is definitely going to ask us questions, and we're asking them for something, right? And so we have to be crystal clear. Why are you in front of us? And let's see if we can help you. So don't get upset with me, right? Okay, saying the foundational Black American is a movement, social movement that was born in 2019 after they left ADOS. It is not a real organization. It's nothing that they can validate as to who is in it, except for people saying what you just said. I'm a foundational Black American. But the foundational Black American has no structure that they could read. And so that becomes a problem. So now there's someone else. Who else you want to go to, sa.neter?
All right, we're gonna go around real quick. I would rather you just do your presentation, man.
No, I just want to see who's on, and don't put anybody else on.
Okay, Kwana, what you got? Israelite. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, Reggie asked a question, and it's a great question when he said, are you foundational Black American? I think maybe people are, and I would consider myself, but not according to his definition. So when also I would say, if someone going to speak on what they think a foundational Black American is and to give advice, then you must have a foundation on success, on what you built on. If you call for reparations and written an article, all these different things, do we have it? So to speak on something that you don't have a record of it working, I don't think the brother got mad. He was just answering your question. I understood everything he said. What I consider foundational Black American for me, when they say foundation, is, and I think this whole argument really started when other people came off leeching off Black people in American success. When you say, well, what happened to us, so on and so forth, I look at the ghettos, the slums, the civil rights movement, Willie Lynch, all these different things that so-called African Americans, or you like to say the ancestors here from Africa, went through, didn't run, helped build this country up. And other people come in and leech off of that, and then with a handout, and we supposed to help them. Where I can ask my one question is, and in closing, my question is, and all these other ethnicities, what have they done for so-called African, Israelite, Muslim, or Black people here in America? So for me, foundational Black American is my grandmother, my grandfather who fought in World War II, and family was fought in World War I, and so on and so forth. So that's the foundation. It's not that hard. It's really not. But do you have a foundation on the things that you've written and the people you say and your scholars and teachers would actually help in your articles that help us actually get reparations? Or it's just, like you say, foundational Black America just talking, or are you just talking also? But I in all due respect.
That's fair, Kwana. Kwana, you're in the organization, correct?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Say it again.
You're in the organization, correct?
No.
Kwana, you at work?
Yeah, I'm at work.
Yeah, I can see you with your police uniform on, brother.
That's right. I'm a working man. I work for a living. I don't ask no.
Hold on.
I don't work. I'm not asking for reparations.
Let me see your shirt.
I'm not asking for anything.
Hold on. Don't talk over me. Let me see that blue shirt.
Oh, I didn't hear you.
I like that blue shirt you got on. Let me see it.
Oh, we don't need to see that.
Yeah. All right, brother, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So my whole point is, so you don't have a religious organization that you're in?
I'm not in I don't have an organization, and I'm not religion.
Okay, you're a Hebrew Israelite?
I'm an Israelite, a man who believe in God.
Okay, so all this time I thought you was, are you in a camp?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, no problem. Okay, and you always got to be careful when you're wearing official clothing of your job.
Don't worry about that. What's your question?
No, I don't have a question for you. I'm moving to the next person. But I respect what you said. But I
respect you too.
All right. Thank you. So next person. Who's the next person that you want to? I'm just triaging who I have on this platform.
Ngolo, hit Ngolo because he got some choice.
All right, yeah. Chill. Take a chill pill, brother. Take a chill pill. Let me go to David Walker. David Walker's in the building.
Oh, my bad.
Peace. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, Dave?
Man, so we back around the block, huh?
Yeah, that's right. So
again, I gotta open up. I gotta open up the way I opened up
Reggie,
before.
Dr. Reggie is calling out all FBAs, anybody that wants to smoke.
That's gonna be wild calling out 40 to 50 million people.
Well,
Okay.
all we need is one to step up.
I'm not going through all of this. What do you have to say? I'm not going through this. We went around the rosies. You was formerly with the Nation of Islam. You left the Nation of Islam.
Hold on, wait, pause. I said, say what now?
You're still with the Nation of Islam?
No. You said I was what with the Nation of Islam?
Was you a member of the Nation of Islam?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I said. You was formerly with the Nation of Islam.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Continue.
And I asked you, are you with the Nation of Islam now?
Right, and I said no. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Nation of Islam is an organization, correct?
Yes, that's an organization. Yes.
That's an organization. You're a FBA.
Yes, by blood. Yes.
Okay, by blood. Okay, great. Only by blood, but not by organization.
Right, because it's not an organization.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks. So I've heard enough for now. You can stay. I appreciate you. Who's next? By blood.
Brother Lie's in the building. Shout out to Brother Lie. What up, Lie?
By blood.
What's up, Brother Lie?
Peace and blessings to everybody on the panel as well as your families. I basically just jumped on to ask one question, which Reggie's been asking for several days. That's what it is, baby. Like, yeah, we got to get to the codes. I want to hit code and law.
Yeah.
Let's get right to it.
But they're not organization. Most of them are not in an organization, so they don't have codes. And it doesn't seem to me that they know too much law. But
indeed, brother. But
so
don't give. Yes, I concur with you, brother. But I don't want to compound or mix up the water and people adding religion because this one is a Jew, this one's a Muslim, this one's this one's that. Alleviate all emotions out of it, and let's stick to the guideline of what you presented to us. You spoke in regards for code and law.
And that's what I'm trying to get to, and I also have to clear
up.
To it,
brother. Get to it, brother.
Okay.
Because if you don't when you put your foot on their neck, I'm gonna put my knee on their neck.
I'm right with you, bro. So let's get this. Let's get this done. Okay, so let's talk about bad language. The first thing is,
as with the drip say, let's get to that.
Yeah. So I want to talk about bad and unclear language, right? So we have this thing. I'm sorry. This Latoya Ma'at is there, and who else is there? sa.neter. Latoya Ma'at, you can speak. sa.neter.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, sister.
All right. Hey, Brother Reggie, how are you? Okay, so I think what's confusing people is, I'm trying to get your point because everybody is mixing things in. Do you have a problem with FBA, or do you have a problem with FBA and the stance that some of them may take with reparations? Because I think what's getting confused is when people are saying it's a lineage, I get that it is, but every time somebody says lineage, we're going back into reparations. So I think two can be the same thing. That it can be a lineage and you just not like the view that Tariq Nasheed or whoever has taken on reparations itself.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of the, like I can hear, and I've been reading the chat over the last couple of days as a moderator, and I can see where your point is getting lost and then their point is kind of getting lost. And I think I'm just here to try and triangulate.
That's fine. My point is not lost. The last two shows that I did, my points are not lost. There is some disagreement. So I'm
no. I'm not saying that you're not saying them correctly. I'm saying people may be misinterpreting them.
Okay. Yes. No, I know. So that's why I'm here today, right? To clear it up, right? To clear up what I call bad language, right? So who's next? Who's the last person? If anybody.
All right. I want everybody to know tomorrow, Dr. Reggie will be doing the show with my sister. Yes, man. I remember I told you Friday.
Oh, with
you're gonna
Dots?
sit down with Sister Dots,
Well,
and you and her gonna have a powerful discussion. You know,
I asked you to ask her what are we going to talk
brother,
about?
you're gonna sit down with Dots
I'm
and
not
have
going to
a
sit down
powerful
with her until I
discussion,
know
brother.
what she's talking about.
Brother, whatever she's talking about is going to be about information and knowledge, brother. Let's do this thing organic.
No, that's ambush. I need to know what she call her up and ask her what does she want to talk to me about.
About history. It's going to be about some history.
No, see, no, I don't play that. Find out exactly what it is, and we'll talk about it.
All right,
I'll talk to her, but I'm not going to just sit here.
All right, it might be about some
find out
American abos and lineage. Oh, she's in the chat. She's saying lineage, Reggie.
Okay, so part of it, I give a head start on lineage. All right. So
Okay.
anybody else? Hey, Sister Dots, how are you?
Okay, what time is good, Reggie? About 6 o'clock?
I don't know. We'll talk about it later. Let me
6
get on
o'clock
with this
is good.
presentation.
Okay, let me get on with it. Let me get Ngolo. Ngolo, what up, bro?
What's the word, good brother?
Start donating to the channel, man. That's the good word. Start donating, support the channel, brother.
I just gave you a dub the other day.
Oh, good looking, brother. Good looking. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, brother. Because I let everybody come up and I let everybody drive. And Golo, another thing.
I'll send you a dub right now.
If you put together a presentation, you can also come up and do your show. You can do a show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, come on and do a show, brother.
Yeah, I don't get no.
Okay, you got the floor. Go ahead, brother.
Speed it up. What's
no, but my question to Brother Reggie, has there ever been a historical precedent for any imperial regime stimulating a group of people that they actively disenfranchise?
Wow. Wow.
They have capitulated to smaller groups of people that they have. The Italian Americans, the Irish Americans, they capitulated to the Native Americans, right? They gave them something that they did not give us. The Jewish Americans, yes. Have they capitulated to us? No, they divide and conquer. They give some groups something, right? Which is unofficial, but they give them something, right? Groups that want to work with them, they kind of polish their shoes, give them ties, and unofficially they put them in places. And then we have like organizations that have the close ties with them, like Sigma Pi Phi and other kind of organizations that have get certain type of access that the normal Black people don't get access to because they're organized, because Sigma Pi Phi is very, very organized, right? When you have one of their members like Vernon Jordan back close to the White House, and you have governors, Wilder, that was in Virginia, who's a Sigma Pi Phi, right? When you have, they call themselves archons and arcuzas, when you have them in Congress, members of that organization in Congress, and in every part of Black life, whatever they get as far as donations to their nonprofits or things like that, that they can do work, support Urban League, and then in some cases, protection as far as like the historical Black colleges and universities, right? So that's unofficial. You're never going to see that in paperwork, but you're going to see that in direct funding to things that they are advocates on. So that's the answer to your question.
I would like to contextualize my question in terms of the direct verbiage that I use. When I in terms of stimulate a demographic that they disenfranchise, I mean actively. So a historical precedent for an imperial regime stimulating a demographic that they actively disenfranchised and that they benefit from the people's confusion and lack of cohesion.
No.
A historical precedent of somebody stimulating that specific type of group of people and demographic.
No. That's where well, the civil rights movement in itself was our best effort but then that was kind of co-opted, right? It was co-opted, and certain people got rewards that they did not take back to their communities, because that's the problem with not being organized, right?
Right.
And not having people overseeing where money's going, because their position is, we gave you money, we gave you, we gave you housing, we gave you these things, and now you're telling us that it was misused. Well, who misused it, right? Your own people misused it. It didn't track back. They gave us enough in the civil rights movement, as far as economic, not economic stimulus, but economic support, that we should be in a better situation than we are in. But the people that were the benefactors of it, our talking heads, our politicians, they put it in their pocket. And the system is saying, well, that's not our problem. That's your lack of policing your own and keeping them accountable, right? And so, but your general correct is no, but then it goes into another part, which is called capitalism. They have a population of people who have to make money off of us, right? In slavery times, when we were, how can I say, when we seem to have been liberated from chattel slavery, the slave masters got monetary money of their loss of slaves. They were benefited. So I understand what you're saying. So I just want to continue. Anybody else? Thank you, and go.
All right, ears to the street. Turn on your camera. Malik L, turn on your camera. Reggie, let's go with your presentation, brother.
All righty. So it's going to be in parts, and but I'm going to get down to what I call bad language. So I want to clear this out. So I'm going to share my screen. So my good brother Suntan.
Get rid of that screen share.
My good brother Suntan. Okay, so I have something up on my show that you can put up. Great. And I don't know if I can. Okay, I don't know if I can make it bigger, but this is fine. Okay, so let's get rid of bad language. Bad language is lineage. That's bad language. For us getting anything, right? What is lineage? In anthropology, a lineage is a unilateral descent group that traces its ancestry to a demonstrably shared ancestor, known as an apical ancestor. Lineages are formed through relationships traced either exclusively through the maternal line, paternal line, or some combination of both. The cultural significance of a maternal or paternal descent varies greatly, shaping social structures, inheritance patterns, and even rituals across societies. Bad language in FBA is trying to make the word lineage mean something else. I'm gonna give another example, from another definition. Lineage, a descent in a line from a common progenitor, right? The brand's lineage is a leather goods company, right? A group of individuals tracing descent from a common ancestor, especially such a group of persons whose common ancestor is regarded as a founder of the lineage, right? And so now what is happening here with FBA is when people say, am I frozen? Okay, give me a second. I seem to be frozen. So the bad language is to say that we are a lineage is bad language in law, right? Because law requires, right? Law requires very specific things. So what FBA is is a organization that doesn't want to be an organization, and its members are the FBA. When they use the word lineage, they're not talking about that they are related. They have created some group. So like I said already, and I'll blow this up, and I'll say this. So we in the Black movement, we study our opposition, right? We study our oppressor, and we don't allow them to reframe our history. So that means we can't allow even our own to reframe our history if it's not correct. FBA's definition for lineage and delineate different from proper dictionaries. If you want the court to give you something, then you have to use the definitions that they know, right? You simply have to do that. Otherwise, it's going to be confusing and it's going to be thrown out for plausibility because you don't want to use the same language, but you're asking them for something. Lineage has a clear meaning in anthropology and sociology. It is a narrowly defined descent group where everyone traces back to a single known ancestor through one paternal line, usually just a few generations deep, used to sort inheritance and family obligations, not to name an entire racial national population. Naming an entire racial national population a lineage is not in the definition, right? And you have to know that because you're asking them for something that maybe they can give us, but what you're making a mistake of is trying to take a word and reframe it when the law is not going to allow it nor accept it. So FBA stretches lineage to mean tens of millions of people over centuries, not related, with no single demonstrable ancestor and no strict maternal or paternal lines. They are using a lineage, they're not using a lineage at all. They are rebranding and wanting the oppressor and even people who want to give us rights or money, they're trying to rebrand it, but it's a really ethnic historical group. And they're trying to take this ethnic historical group and make it a single family tree, right? Which is a misuse of the term and simply a rhetoric trick. It's not serious kinship. It's not law. It's not power analysis. It's nothing but what it is. We're going to say our lineage, and it sounds good to Black people who don't do law, who don't understand law, but it's not good for helping us get anything that we want. It's good for building your brand, building social media accounts, having people saying that I'm a FBA or and it's my lineage, but you're misusing the word, right? Put simply, lineage is a specific traceable family line from one ancestor. You don't like Africans, right? So you're not going to use Africans, even though our early groups use a number of African in their organizations. You want to use rhetoric to erase that. Okay. So FBA, you talk as if lineage means a whole racial national block, all descendants of U.S. chattel slavery, or those and problematic, and those in America that was always here, who happened to look Black, right? So for you, lineage means all of these groups of people. But the technical concept is much more narrow. One demonstrable ancestor, one line of descent, usually only a few generations deep. You're misusing the word. Now, so when you call millions of people a lineage without a single demonstrable ancestor or unilateral chain, you're not describing kinship. You're drawing a box around a group and slapping a prestige word on it. That is pure delineation dressed up as lineage. Your delineation is how can I say your concept of delineation, and we're gonna get to delineation because you're misusing that word too, right? Here it's correct. What you're doing is wrong. So watch this, right? It says it's a branding exercise masquerading as a blood science. So now we bring in blood as if blood, this magical blood that you say that carries in your veins, that is actually the blood of your ancestors, your particular ancestors, not necessarily related to the next man or the next woman, right? But all of a sudden, this blood, and the big question to all of us is, where does this blood come from? The blood is born in America, or the blood is born somewhere else, right? But you are masquerading some type of blood science, right? So, but if you personally, everybody that's on here can't walk back 4 generations, right? And name the people in your own family have done no work, right? But you swear allegiance to a mass FBA lineage. You're not doing ancestry. You're not doing lineage. You're just hiding your ignorance of the real people that are that you follow, right? So you're creating a fake label. Labels in law are conclusory, right? It doesn't meet what you call the plausibility test, and maybe we can get into that, right? So now, I just deal with lineage, right? So I want to go back to the chat, stop sharing my screen for a quick hot second, and I want to test the people, some of the people that's on here, right? I want to test them. Because, okay, so let me stop sharing my screen. Great. Okay. Khalif, from the definition that I gave on lineage, right? That's in the dictionaries. Do you agree with that definition?
Can you give it again?
No, because I got to move on.
Well,
so,
no, I don't.
You don't. Okay, so, okay, great. So you don't. But you're using a word in the English dictionary that they defined. So you don't agree with the dictionary word?
No.
Okay, great. So you're using another word. What word are you using? Because you're saying lineage, so you're going to make the dictionary change? Because when we go into court, right? When we go in front of Congress, when we go even in front of our own people, you have another. What is your definition of lineage?
It's a link. It's a line that you can go down to trace people who came before you, ancestors.
Right, but they're not your ancestors. Who are your ancestors?
I know all of my ancestors.
Well, that's wonderful. But so am I related to you?
I don't know yet. I don't know you.
Okay, so that's the point. So that when we put together what you call a class action to do anything as legally, right? Then you know in court you have to the judge has to verify the class.
In what sense? What do you mean? A judge? What type of judge? It's in general?
Well, I'm listening to you.
I'm asking you. You said, did I know that a judge has to choose a class? And
okay, do you know anything about class? Do you know anything about class action suits?
I don't.
Okay, great. All right, let me ask somebody else. Thank you, Khalif. Thank you. So let me ask somebody else. So my good brother, let's see here. Suntan, you're in my age group, right?
Right.
I read the definition of lineage. Or do the FBA satisfy that when they say their lineage?
Well, you have to put it in context, right? Because like you said, there's a lot of nuances to it. And the specific nuance is that you identify yourself in your own lineage, and as you go down that ladder, you may identify yourself in your lineage. So I understand your argument and what you're trying to do, and it's great because, like, even if I'm just to give you a quick example, say I went back my grandma, and I'm there, right? So you went grandma, and you there, right? But we don't hook up as relatives. We just there. So the thing with this is, it's like an individual thing. What Tariq was saying, it's an individual thing where there's long, and then it's no basic grounds for you to collect, because what you're saying makes a whole lot of sense, right? And I'm not jumping away from my stance on what I believe, but it got to have structure. And I didn't see no structure in the way it was going back in 2019. So I just listened, and I went to the conscious community and did my thing. However, what you're saying makes sense, because once you go back to your lineage, this is mine. Okay, I'm next to Reggie. Reggie, what's yours? Are we any kin? Let's go to court. So what did this establishment do to me and Reggie? And he did it to my lineage, he did the Reggie lineage, but we asking together. So the judge will say, how can we put these two things together? Is that making any sense?
Making a lot of sense to me, because what it is that our arguments have to be structured, and our language has to be structured. And when you have people looking at a dictionary definition and saying that they don't agree with a dictionary definition, but they're using the word, then it becomes problematic. And I see this all up and down these arguments, right? The court or the county or the judge or the government may want to give you something, but then you come in and say lineage, but then they ask you, okay, now you're gonna have to qualify this lineage because this person over here is a Native American, and and then, well, we're going to test his family line or her family line, and we're going to find out that they weren't involved in slavery. They didn't come over in the transatlantic slave trade. And so we already gave the Native American rights under the Marshall Trilogy. So pick a side. Now, if you want to talk about your lineage in chattel slavery, that's fine. Okay. But Judge Posner said in the last reparations case, he said that a harm to your ancestor is not a harm to you. That's case law now, right? Yeah. I already showed that. So, okay, so Suntan, so I have Brother Malik L. Peace to you, Malik L. And I have Rakufu. So my question to you, Malik L., is based on the dictionary definition and the anthropological definition, or the FBA's using the word lineage correctly?
I don't think so either. I think you covered it pretty well and extensively with your definition. I don't necessarily agree with the FBA at all.
Okay. Is your family a victim of the transatlantic slave trade?
No, I don't believe so. I think my people was here already in America already.
Okay, great. Okay, so that's fine, and that's okay. That's a lot of people think, and that's okay, and I don't have a problem with that. So you wouldn't necessarily be part of anything that the FBA is putting up for reparations. You might believe in reparations, but you have a different, how can I say, cause of action.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, see, this is what it is, and so what a judge would do is try to certify a class, and then they would talk to people like Malik L. If he was in this class and he's not clear, and he would decertify Malik L. and said, you might have a cause of action, but it's not in this case. I appreciate you, I respect you, but it's not in this case. Rob,
peace and blessings.
Hey, Reggie, can I say something real quick? Just real quick. One thing that they think that they're leaving out, and I'm glad you bringing this up because I know it's going to be a lot of intelligent, learned people here. They need to reestablish the talking point as class action, not as lineage, right? Because the lineage is there, right? But it has to be structured in the class action sort of format that you may ask this abiding judge for what you might want, and then through class action, he can't say anything else but, okay, we dealing with this group, right?
Absolutely. So Rakufu was next. Can't hear you, Rakufu. You're muted.
Might be muted.
Please don't lose your.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
yes.
We got you.
So yeah, I would say we got like just the same thing Suntan said. You need somebody to put it together in a class action format because we got the lineage already.
Well, we have lineages.
Lineages, yes.
We have lineages that have been harmed, right? We have family. A lineage is particular family groups.
Yeah, it's plural.
So we have lineages that have been harmed.
Right, exactly.
And we can show the harm, but we can't go in there and say that they're all one lineage.
Right.
That the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Hey, Reggie, you all right, man? Because now I'm looking at it from a different point. That, see, when you were saying that a few days ago, I'm like kind of through, but I never. But this is making complete sense, right? They are using a word that's not going to be acceptable in the court of law.
Not exactly. Or in proposals to give us things at all, right?
Right.
And then when they try to give it to us, if there's equal rights protection groups that lay suit, which they already have on most of the local reparations, then we have to rewrite it. They have the people who we want to give it to us that we're asking help us formulate it. They can't formulate it the way FBA is asking them to do it. And then they got upset in California when they said it has to be lineage based. And then Tariq made a good presentation. I listened to his presentation, but I knew that what they were saying is that, well, Tariq, you don't understand. These equal protection groups is going to sue us in California, right? They're going to sue us if we don't get it right. The wording that you're putting in, right, is not helping us. And so you're giving ammunition to the people, and so we can't do it that way. So it's held up because it would have been taken back. And then when it goes in courts, when a state or city or county gets sued, it costs multiple millions of dollars of litigation that's taking away from what the people are trying to get.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay. So, Rakufu, you have something else to say?
No, I just wanted to get off, say peace to the panel. Excellent show, Reggie. And Suntan, you know what I'm about to do. I'm about to watch the Lions. Go Lions.
Right.
All right, y'all take
watch and talk. Reggie putting down some strong stuff. A lot of people in the chat ain't accepting it.
I got college. I've been in federal court.
We're not worried about that, Reggie. You just
I know. The difference is
making sense.
Because I'm not in the chat. Listen, I did a whole federal case myself, and then the judge decided at that point to dismiss it without prejudice. I smiled, and I went to state court, and in state court I had more rights, and so I know how these things go. Right? I'm not arguing with nobody who can't go to court. I didn't go to court with a lawyer. I went to court myself, right? So I know how the courts play. And I know on the littlest thing, they will dismiss your case, right? And every federal case is no less, watch this, no less to each party $100,000. But many cases that go to federal court, for each party, it's $400,000, right?
Hey, Reggie, let me say this. The killer in court, and there's the thing that you didn't mention, But the killer in court.
Hold on, Suntan. We got Sister Freedom in the building. She waiting.
All right, this real quick. I'm to say it's jurisprudence, right? That's the key.
Jurisdiction, jurisprudence, venue,
jurisprudence,
right? Causes of action, plausibility, all that. Sister Freedom, it's been a long while. How are you doing, sister?
Hi, Brother Reggie. Hi, panel. Can y'all hear me?
Peace, sister.
Loud and clear.
Long time no see.
I know I've been dealing with some family issues, but it's always good to come back.
Peace to you and the family.
It's okay. I wanted to make sure. I'm so glad that Brother Suntan and hey Sa, I'm so glad that Brother Suntan just brung up what he brung, because I wasn't sure at first, was Reggie for the reparation or against the reparation? So
I'm against FBA. I'm against FBA language.
Well, wait a minute. Are you against them, or you got some ideas that could possibly help them?
No. I think that their rhetoric is so devastating that it can't be helped. They have to restructure. Tariq is smart enough in branding to restructure. But the problem is the people who are on this chat or who say that they're FBAs, they're all over the place, and I haven't seen any receipts. I haven't seen any work, Sister Freedom. We don't listen, Sister Freedom. We're about the same age. Sister Freedom, you look around, you go left to the right, up and down. In your life, watching this movement, most of these people you ain't never seen, sister. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of people I ain't never seen, but I think everything starts off as a movement, and I think they have a wonderful idea on what they're trying to say. It's now I can agree to you saying that if you went to Tariq and say, brother, I got some good ideas, you know what I'm saying? I wrote a paper before, the best experience is to actually do it. So you actually, did do a paper, because I'll never be the one to put my my people down and say that your stuff is rhetoric and it's no good. Everybody has something that they can contribute.
Sister Freedom, do they have a paper?
Let me finish. I don't want to go there. I don't know. I'm saying what you're...
Okay, then what are we talking about, sister? I'm asking you...
Wait a minute. You only can hear what I'm talking about if you let me talk. What I'm saying to you is, you said that you went into the court, that you offered them a paper, you did some work. You said you see where FBA is not doing it right. You're saying because the reparations are for certain groups of people. So Brother Sultan just said that, and you agree with him, that there is more than just African descent. It's other people, because the people that were already on these lands were taken advantage by the enemy coming over, stealing their land, changing their names. Everything that's said to be done in the slave trade was done to the copper colored people on these lands. They didn't even need to go over there in Africa. They was already doing it over here to us. So what I'm saying to you is, you're saying that you're for us getting reparations because you know that we have been abused mentally and physically in some form or fashion, right? You are for it. I'm asking you.
I'm not again.
Okay.
I'm not clear that and I more than I'm not clear. The FBA has nothing more than talk. Nothing more, no receipts, no plan, nothing I can look at.
But you just said
I asked you, wait, it's my show.
Sorry.
Wait, it's my show, sister. I go and ask you, have you seen their plan? I asked you, did you see their plan? And you said no. Then you bring in copper colored and all of this stuff. But I need to see that. Then what we're asking for everybody in the United States, because I don't believe that the copper colored people here, if they didn't go through in the enslavement process, I don't think that they warrant reparations to the descendants of the African that was enslaved in America. I believe that they are warranted reward or reparations, but they're not in the cause of action that most people think of as reparations. They're in their own cause of action.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we know for a fact that when the enemy came over, and I'm gonna say it like that, the enemy came over and enslaved the people and took their lands and everything else that they did to the people that was already. I don't know what's this.
That's not my issue. I don't care about. Listen, okay. I don't care. This is not my show on that. That is another show. Anybody can come up. We're talking about anybody who is making a claim that the descendants of the African slave trade, right? Those descendants, those particular descendants, I'm talking to them. The other groups of people who were in this land and got their land stolen and all of that stuff like that, I'm not talking about them. That's not my show.
How can you not be talking about them?
Because I'm not. Okay, so I have to move on.
I'm asking, why?
Sister,
wait a minute, Brad,
I have to move on. It's my show.
Why are you being rude when I'm trying to conversate with you and you're being unnecessarily rude? It's not
because I'm being clear.
No, you're
I'm not talking about those people. You say, how can I not?
Clear. If you're being clear, and the people was already on these lands, how can you tell a difference? First of all, because they were all enslaved. They had their lands taken away from them. They were, I mean, we know this. Why are you just taking up for people that supposedly came over here from Africa, but not taking up, but you think the people that feel like they was already on these lands don't have a right to want reparations just because they so-called don't believe that they are descendants of Africa? They do their own background and lineage checking, and they don't see no Africans quarrels, don't see no Africans in their family lineage, so they don't have a right to take up for themselves, and we want reparations.
Let's go, Freedom. Let's go.
Enslaved us. Are you serious?
I am going to go on. I heard you. I let you speak. My issue is simply the reparations movement started a while ago, and they were very specific as to who they were trying to fight for reparations for, right? No. Specifically. Wait, why do you want to cut me off? You can do a show. You can do a show. This is my show. I am telling you specific why the language is muddy. So the next question I have to ask is, who's this right here? This is
wait a minute, Reg, do you feel like
sister?
Do you feel like you can help them get it correct? Do you feel like you can talk to Brother Tashi and say to him?
I'm talking to them right now by doing this presentation. I'm telling them why they are leaking.
Okay, well then that's all I want to know is if you were for it, are you against it? Do you feel like you can help them? What I mean, but
sister, I am helping them.
Saying this rhetoric like it's not a good movement,
sister.
You know, and I think sister, this. I mean, negative talk don't. You know,
sister. I'm telling them as a brother to them, and I've done real work that their language. See, I don't want to be like this, so I want to move on because I am helping them by having this show.
Yeah, but don't say I've done real work like their work ain't nothing. Like, I mean, you can't put yourself.
Show me their work. I asked you. Now I'm tight. Now I'm tight. Show me their plan. Show me their receipt.
No, you show me what you did that made the change. Since you putting everybody down and you made this and you did that and you here with it.
I can. If you wait a while,
you said that the judge dismissed it.
So, all right. Come on, y'all. We got to move it on.
I said that the judge dismissed it without prejudice. Okay. Sister, do you know what that means? Then I said that I went to state court, right? And in the state court, I got relief. Did you hear that?
All right. We got to move on, y'all.
I'm not, Sister Freedom, I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm disappointed in you.
Fine. sa.neter, I don't want to talk with her no more. I'm so
that's
disappointed.
Fine. I'll call you later and get
No, don't call me. Call sa.neter. I'm so disappointed with you.
What? Get mad. You shouldn't get mad. We learning, right?
No, you're not. You're not willing to. I'm trying to do my presentation. I had you come on. I really wanted to ask you the question. It's simple.
You can
There's
ask
a dictionary item of lineage that we would use because people or that we would use. Does it agree with what the common people agree with the lineage that the term means? Yes or no?
Well, I can't even really, to be honest with you, I don't remember how you said it. You probably said something that was correct. But I'm also saying to you, Reg, all I'm saying is if you think you got something that can help them, instead of putting them down saying it's rhetoric and the movement is trash and this, I would say, I would love to sit down and talk with Brother Nasheed. I mean, Tashid, you should sit down and ask Sai to have him come on, and maybe you could talk to him personally and say, this is how we can do it, brother. We can help us, them, and everybody that's involved that was hurt by
me
this.
And Brother Tariq Nasheed, we talk personally. I don't know if you've ever talked to him. I've interviewed him. I've talked to him personally. Right? All that conversation is open. One of my comrade, Professor Smalls, worked with him for years, right? So, and my other elder, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, worked with him on 1808. Talked to him. My relationship with them is always open. This show is not about Tariq Nasheed. This show is about community education. Next person, please.
All right, let's move on. Dex, what up, Dex? Dex, let's get it.
Yo. So the only question that I want to answer before I move on is, does what the usage of the word lineage, does it agree with the dictionary term of lineage? That's what I want to ask you, Dex. How you doing?
All right, I'm good. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. I would say no in context of what they use it as.
Okay, so hypothetically, if we go into court and we start talking, or we go to elected officials and we start talking about lineage, and then it's actually a group of people with separate lineage, how do you think they will deal with that?
They would deal with it in semantics. What I mean by that, well, when you take it to a court, it's all about language. So it depends on the language you use. So, for instance, if they're talking about lineage, and according to the definition that you're talking about, it wouldn't hold no weight, because I mean, you pretty much iced it when you said it's just not they're not using the actual context of the definition to describe what they're trying to get done. You get what I'm saying? So I wouldn't think that it would hold any weight in court.
Okay, so when we do go to court, or we ask for reparations, or we ask for relief, right? Mm-hmm. Is it on us being harmed, or could they give it just because we claim a particular lineage?
Well, from what I've researched, I don't think you could do it just based on lineage, but you could do it for being harmed. From what I researched, but yeah, I don't think that you could do it just based off of lineage. That's just not feasible in court.
All right, brother. Do you have a question for him? For Reggie?
No, I just wanted to come up here and be brief with it. Just let him know he's doing a good job on explaining the semantics of the situation. He's doing a pretty good job. I just think that we should know who we're talking to in these situations. Like, certain people, comprehension skills aren't as good enough to understand what they're actually trying to get across. You know what I mean? Like, they're asking questions that you understand the answers to, but they don't understand the question into how they asking it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just comprehension all the way around. So yeah.
All right. We got Sister Dots in the building. Dots, what's up?
Sorry. Hey, y'all. What's up? Good evening. Hi, Reggie. How you
How you
doing?
doing, Sister
I
Dot?
can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. I look forward to our conversation.
What do we want to talk about, Sister
We're going
Dot?
to. So I would love to unpack more about this whole thing. I'm not about the conversation won't be about reparations at all. It's more so about what you were talking about the past. I think this is the third day in regards to identity.
Yes.
And especially going into that whole Pan-African kind of like talking points. I just want to explore that a little bit more with you.
Oh, okay, wonderful. You do know that I do Pan-Africanist work.
Yeah, that's why I want to talk to you more about
I
it.
do Pan-Africanist work, but I normally do. I'm more of a Black nationalist, and
Okay.
it's just an extension. I haven't been back to Africa since 1987. I have no plans to go back to Africa, right? No immediate plans to go back to Africa for any reason, right? But I may if I think that it's useful, right? But we can talk about that because I'm a Black nationalist, and I think that people, these attacks that have been going on, have skipped the fact that that we became Black nationalists. We were looking for a home in America that we can be sovereign, right? And if we do that, if we are able to get power in America, we need resources. So we need resources from other places. And Africa is a place that owes us a lot, right? And we are part of them. And so we have to negotiate with them. And so I'll be interested in talking to you tomorrow. But I want to ask you a question. The definition of lineage that's in the dictionary, is it the same definition of lineage that the FBAs are using? Yes or no?
Okay, so I would say no, just at face value, right? I can understand that point that you're making in terms of reparations, but based on the definition of lineage, right? Because somebody mentioned there's a lot of nuances to that word, and I would agree with that. But based on just the point of lineage and lawsuits and going into a courtroom in terms of reparations, I would think the only way to prove lineage is genealogy.
Correct.
You don't prove lineage by DNA test. You don't prove lineage by a spit test, by ancestry.
Correct.
That's not proving lineage. You prove lineage only by your genealogy. First name, last name, place of birth, date of birth. And
Correct.
last time I checked, we were here. Now, I'm not FBA at all. And I'm not FBA just based on their basic, like I remember a few months ago when I was looking into like what they were talking about and I went to the website, I think it said like they had a flag up and it said like originated 1527 or in the 1500s. And I'm like, hey, yo, my people been here longer than the 1500s in the Americas. So just on that alone, I was like, okay, I'm not kind of feeling it. But that's just me. And then I heard they voted for a man to be a queen. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm not on that at all. So yeah, I'll pass on that. But in terms
that's going to be interesting. So
I'm going African stuff. I want to go into that more with you, and we can talk about that. But let me get back to the question. Hold on, Reggie. I want to answer your question. So the only way to prove lineage would be by genealogy, right? And people have had more success in terms of going into court with like individual family cases than they have with class action lawsuits. So my question to you, when it comes to reparations, right? So we know for a fact that there's been families that have re-inherited land that was taken from them, however many long ago, right? That was in their family line and it was taken, whether that was through eminent domain, whether that was through whatever. It was, but they have inherited back, right? In down south, there's air loss property, air loss centers all over popping up. Those are forms of reparations technically when you're talking about individual, maybe like family line. So my question to you would be, do you know if there's been any successful class action lawsuits regarding reparations? And if not, why hasn't it been successful? Because I know there's been quite a few, but it hasn't been.
So I'm trying to get to that. So those are excellent points. And if I don't say it right now, we could talk about it tomorrow. But real quickly, is the fact of the matter is that most reparation lawsuits have been thrown out because the people who are the plaintiffs or in the class certification, right? The problem is that they're really not part of that class. They come up like they're on this show. They call when the judge sits them down and questions the lawyer to question them, they are all over the place, right? And then the bottom line comes down to exactly what you articulated. What is your genealogy? So if you say you're a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade, if that's the case that you're on, and that was a problem that I was having in the last discussion, right? Cases are very specific. Cases are not about everything, right? You don't win a case when everything is on the table. You win cases on partial, and sometimes they're partial, right? They're specific. So what we know about reparations for slavery cases, we know that all of that culminated into the Deirdre Palmer Feldman case in front of Posner in the appellate court, and we lost that case. One, because the plaintiffs, the lead plaintiffs, couldn't tie themselves to being disenfranchised by those banks. The other thing is, Judge Posner said, a harm to your ancestors is not a harm to you. So he was signaling to us, right, that we need to move our reparations to harm that we can specify, right? Harm that we can specify, and we don't need necessarily the slave trade, which is so far removed. The other issue is that these labels are conclusionary. Foundational Black American is a conclusionary label because it really means something else. It means Black Americans who, well, this is the problem. Black Americans who were descendants who was disenfranchised by slavery and then further harmed by the racial laws in the United States. Then we have groups of people who say that they were always here, right? And I find, but that's a separate matter. They have to specify I was always here and I was never really a part of the Black Americans, never really part of those Africans that were enslaved, right? Not accepted by my tribes, and I was harmed. There was a valid, and I can show you how I was harmed, right? Yeah. So that's a valid case. But then there's people who want to lump everything on and then disrespect me by saying my own case got dismissed in federal court, right? And that's just so disrespectful because it was dismissed without prejudice. And then I moved it to state court, and then I got relief. And then years later, they reviewed my case and they added a prong to it that said, well, if I didn't give enough information at that time, but the new cases say, but if there's further harm, then it would not be dismissed. So my case opened up the case for more relief, right, in law. But when someone picks and listens to me and then about my own personal life and then says that my case was dismissed and don't know law, don't know how, do you understand that you might partially win, partially lose, do another case that's much more clearer? Do you know that Rosa Parks, there were so many people that they could have used. They picked the perfect plaintiff that they couldn't destroy in court, right? That's how you do law cases. Sometimes there's a better case. Sometimes the Deirdre Palmer farmer case that came up, it wasn't the perfect idea, the perfect case. That's why we lost. So thank you, Dots. And thank you for answering my question. And thanks for being.
You know what, Reggie, though? Let me ask you a question. Just something to think about, right? And this is why I'm excited about our conversation tomorrow, because I do know that you have put in the work, right? And even though, my paradigm is different than yours in terms of the African thing, that's okay. And this is why I want to have the conversation with you, because I do respect that. And that you have been out on the front lines and putting in that work. So I can say that for sure. And I acknowledge that. But I just something to think about. When we think of other groups of people that've been successful with reparations or demographics of people that, we always think about the internment camps, the Japanese internment camps, right? We know it's because the language was different, meaning they were prisoners of war. I wonder, maybe the reason why it hasn't been successful is because maybe the government knows that most of us were not descendants of slavery, of Africans coming over here to the Americas. We was here, baby. So if we can, and if we have land, and if we have proof, and if families are winning, and if families are getting some type of recompense back in court, that says a lot. So maybe,
we can talk about that tomorrow.
Wait, hold on. But maybe the focus of the fight might have to shift. Maybe the language has to shift. And I think that's why it's a beautiful time to have this conversation, right? Because we do have elders, we have two generations that are approaching this and attacking this in a very different way. I think that's dope. I think a lot can come from that.
Well, I do think that, but my issue is when I hear people tell me, why can't I just go and help somebody, right? Help them to be right when I see obvious flaws. What I'm going to do is point out the obvious flaws and to let them correct themselves. I'm not their baby. I'm 60. I'm older than those people. I'm older than most of the FBAs. Most of them. I'm older than Tariq. How you like that? And Tariq, again, I don't have a problem with Tariq, but I'm older than him, right? He's great. He's a wealthy person, a celebrity. He talks really well, and I have nothing against that, right? However, I have been trained, right? I may not be the most articulate, can pull out the best buzzwords, but I can write my ass off.
Okay, but Reggie, real talk. I too I'm also college educated. I have degrees, right? I have many. I'm just saying, feedback is feedback. Sister Freedom is not trying to come at you.
I'm not talking about her.
You are though, but you are. But you are because you're harping on that point. She loves you.
Point, but not harping on her because I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, let's not do that because she got love for you, Reggie, and you know that. All I'm saying is that
love is not
we have to get out of our own way with that. We know you're educated. We know that.
I love people differently. Can we move off and can I talk to you tomorrow?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So 8 p.m. works for me. Okay. So 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay. We
okay. Love you, Reggie.
8 p.m. All right. Real quick, I got the last one, brother Reggie.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Jabril, Shabazz, what's up, brother? Are you FBA, brother?
I absolutely am FBA. Peace, man.
Peace. What's up, brother?
Yeah, I think the problem is ego. I think the problem is in who is in control. And we get so caught up on who is in control or who is the leader. And the beautiful thing about FBA is it unites us. We had an ethnogenesis over here. Some of us came over here through the transatlantic slave trade. Some of us was already over here. We got European blood in us too. We don't necessarily claim it, but foundational Black American. We didn't immigrate to America. We built America. We descendants of slaves. I think we get so caught up on trying to word things right. We end up filibustering, trying to use word magic just to seem important, just to seem bigger than we are. And that's going to throw us off the code. That's the only thing that's really stopped us from getting reparations is being unified and being on code. That's it. Young people, old people, gay people, straight people, it don't matter. Women, men, trans, it don't matter. Your blood, if you FBA, you FBA. That's what the oppressor do. He tried to say, oh, well, you didn't dot your I's or cross your T's, so I'm gonna have to look at it another way. That's boule talk, to be honest with you. That's old. That's going out of here.
Okay, so I have to stop you. Harry, what you have to say, and I have to stop you.
Thank you.
And I have to ask you, is there a plan?
Yup. The plan is to get on code. The plan is to be united.
On code is not a plan, sir.
That's the plan, and it's happening.
No,
and it's working.
No, stop. I'm asking him to stop. Being on code, the word on code, does not help us.
It helps us completely.
Wait, no, brother, you got a choice, right? Nobody is going to grant a proposal based on the word being on code. Second of all, the uncode comes from Neely Fuller, who says something completely different about being on code. Your on code is a loyalty test, right? Or you loyal to FBA. That's your on code, right? And I saw how that uncode unraveled when you attacked Professor Small, who and you might say, oh, it wasn't all of us. That's the point. You attacked Professor Small. You dug into his speech to pull out something that was going to divide us. And why? Because Professor Small wasn't being loyal to you. On code is to do what Nellie Fuller Jr. said against global racism. Everything you say, you do, you act is against global white supremacy. You borrowed it, you reframed it, right? And I'll have to ask you, do you say that your plan is on code? That's a plan?
Yup, to get on code,
Okay,
to be on
I'm
code,
gonna
to
ask you
stay
to get
on
the brother
code.
off.
And you not on code.
No, I don't have
You
no
not on
loyalty
code.
to you.
You being a white
you, brother,
supremacist
go.
right now.
Mute
You
his
acting
mic.
like a white supremacist.
Okay, so that's a guarantee test. So you're pure. You're showing I'm not pure. I'm acting like a white supremacist because I'm having conversations saying that you're
Respectfully, you are.
Okay, fine, sa.neter. I'm just asking you. He says I'm acting like a white supremacist. There's nothing that I ever did in my life to be connected with white supremacy, and so he's saying that because I'm not in his gang.
All right. Check this out. Check this out, Reggie. I gotta say this, brother. Please don't hate me, man. When you come up with a title, Reggie, and says you calling out the FBAs, and they come in and they give a little smoke, you can't run from that. You got to challenge it and take it on.
I am challenging it. What I am saying is that
I notice every time somebody come back strong, you say, get rid of them, get them out of here, get them off.
No, because when he says that I'm a white supremacist, now that's when I draw the damn line.
Okay, but you can't let that get you. Prove to him that you're not.
No, I don't have the time because I'm doing my presentation.
Okay, let's get back to the presentation.
I know what I said. Watch this. I said when an FBA dude, right? Jeremy Lloyd, I'll deal with that later, right? When he signals goes into Professor Small's speech, pulls something out for highlights, saying the FBI called that Professor Small called FBA CIA or anything like that.
You running. Right?
You're gonna get your
running.
mic.
All right, chill, brother. Would you hold on, Reggie, hold on. Will you be the brother that would like to debate him on this topic?
Yup, it don't matter. Let's go. It don't matter because I'm just another FBA, but I can articulate myself. That's it. I'm just another brother.
My whole thing is, yes, I'm calling him out. But
okay, we're gonna stop you and his brother, Reggie.
Listen to me. I'm not debating any willy-nilly person. He hasn't. Look. The brother is a brother. Are you a Muslim?
Yup.
You're a Muslim.
It don't matter. Yeah, I am. But if I was a Christian, it wouldn't matter. If I was a Christian, a Jew, a Buddhist, it wouldn't matter. I'm still FBA.
Are you on code or are you on Dean?
I'm still FBA.
So you didn't left.
I'm on code right now because Muslims fight. Muslims are not the aggressors. We defend though. The whole world been attacking us. Muslims are not the aggressors. We defending ourselves. And the thing is, I don't got no disrespect for you or hate towards you.
But
the spirit and the mentality that you representing, and the spirit and the mentality that tethers represent, and shout out and love to my immigrants. I love my immigrants. But the tethers and people who think like you, who try to mix things up, who try to cosplay us, who try to act like you on code, but you undermining us. You acting like Byron Donaldson.
I'm really full of code. So
you filibustering, dude. You talking about all this word magic, bro. You talking about all this? I heard all the truth and falsehood until it knocks out his brains. You want to talk about being Muslim? That's what.
All right, Reggie. Let's go. You ready to finish your presentation, Reggie?
Yeah, I'm almost ready.
All right, let's go, Reggie. Come on.
Who is allowing? I am calling the FBA out. I allowed people to come on. Still, my presentation. My major presentation is what they said about lineage is not a dictionary word. It's not applicable. Nobody knows about it except for them. Certainly not the court of law, nothing, right? Second of all, let me just do a few other things, right? I get into conversations that when I'm talking to people who can't show me a plan, who when I ask for a plan, they say on code, right? That is nothing. That's a nothing burger. So let me just do this real quick. And I go on with some other points. Right? Okay, so the difference between me, when you come up, share my screen. Share my screen. Okay, great. So when you have a conversation with me and you want to talk about lineage, right? Please show your lineage. This is my father, my mother, my grandparents, from both my mother and father, their grandparents.
Can you blow that up a little bit, Red?
Huh? Say what?
You can blow it up a little bit.
This program doesn't
Mines
work.
go back way further than that.
Right? You listen. Shut up.
You shut up.
I mean,
man.
shut up.
All right, come on, yo. Let's not do this.
You ain't
I
showing
show my lineage, right? I show my lineage, and he says it goes way back further than this, right? I'm like, you haven't seen everybody in my family. I'm showing you what the screen shows.
Yeah, show it.
Right? So the fact of the matter is, my father's parents, right? My father's mother's parents, my mother's parents, my mother's parents, my mother's on the maternal side and on the fraternity side, and then I show their parents.
Yeah, you got work to do, bro. You got work to do.
Okay.
All right, I just put them in the back, Reggie. Go ahead.
Okay. So my point of showing this is lineage, right? So this is my lineage. This is lineage. Putting together 40 million people and saying that it's all one super lineage. Well, that lineage would have to go back to different places in Africa for those, but it's not one group. Anybody who knows anything about the transatlantic slave trade, that over in this particular period over here, many of these people right here, their parents were in the transatlantic slave trade, and so they will be undocumented. They will be in the ledgers of the plantations. Now, there are some people in my family that actually go back, that they are listed even enslaved, but they're in, but they have some semblance of documentation. A lot of families don't have documentation, but the problem is in court. What happens is that when you are claiming harm, I would claim harm for these groups of people. I wouldn't claim harm for the people in the slave trade. I would claim harm for the people, the descendants after the slave trade, these large groups of people who have been disenfranchised in the South, going up into my parents and myself. And then what we would have to do is pick out the different types of harm, the geographical harm in different places, the redlining, right? Some of the murders, right? And those would be the basis of a case for repair for if I'm a lead plaintiff, right? Now, the problem is that everybody has a genealogy, and yes, some people's genealogy goes further back, but then the problem is that then you can't claim harm, because then now you're going to have to show that these people in fact were harmed. If they weren't in the slave trade, then they weren't harmed, and so you would not be in reparations. As simple as that. So I finished that. So let's go on to another part of it, right? So now delineation. Let's do delineation. I want to ask everybody, let me see, delineation, right? I want to put up the definition of delineation. Well, first I want to pick somebody. Can somebody here tell me what delineation means? Give me
to delineate, to clarify I'm not talking to you, ethnogenesis. To clarify, ethnogenesis is foundational Black Americans, because we was grouped and called African American in 1980 by Jesse Jackson. We was called African American. There was no vote by the Black people in America to say we want to call ourselves African American. There's no country that I can go back to in Africa right now without a passport, citizenship, and a whole lot of money out of my pocket. But I'm from here, my blood is here. But anybody, Elon Musk is an African American. Charlize Theron is an African American, but they not foundational Black Americans. Myron Gaines is an African American. So to delineate and clarify our distinct bloodline in existence, we go by foundational Black Americans. The reason it's foundational is because we are foundational to this country. We didn't immigrate to this country. We built this country. This was the wilderness of North America. We paved the roads. The Uber, or how did you ever got home? We paved the roads to make this. We created this and cultivated this. Okay. So nobody else can come over here and say that they African American, they are foundational Black American. If they didn't put in the work that our ancestors unpaid put in for centuries, chattel slavery, our ancestors, the descendants of them, us, automatically in this system. Unpaid.
Okay. Now, can I
hold on. Could I ask a question? Since he made a
can you give me back? sa.neter, can you give me back the?
He didn't even answer his question.
Put everybody on the screen. He's not the highlight of the show. Put everybody in the screen. Put everybody on.
I just wanted to ask a question real quick. So you claim that that y'all were here before, because I hear a lot of FBA say that we were always over here, and that's like where the argument truly is. It's like when we use these words as delineate, how could you say that you want to use lineage as a thing to have your family tree in, but then you guys want to delineate also? Like the word delineate is to portray. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not making sense. Y'all want to delineate and then y'all want to use lineage.
Ethnogenesis. We are ethnogenesis. We are the people that was already over here because it's indigenous people to every part of this planet. At this age, at this planet this planet have Black people on every part of it, right? Our African brothers and sisters, ancestors that came from Africa is in our bloodline. They mixed in with the native people here. That we got European in our bloodline too. This is an ethnogenesis. This is why we delineate to clarify that specific ethnogenesis. It don't need to be more complicated than that. It don't need to be more complicated than that.
I'm hearing you out, but could you listen to me? You have to have came from somewhere. So if you say that you are
where we came from, bro. I just told you.
Hold on. You claim to be a FBA, which means Foundational Black America.
I am. I don't claim it. I am.
America is not just North America. You have different parts of America.
The United States of America. Foundational Black American. When you say America, we're not saying Central America. We're not saying South America or Brazil. When somebody say I'm American, they not saying I'm from Brazil. You know what an American is. Y'all try to make it complicated, but no, that's ever talk.
So
all right. Come on, Dr. Reggie. Come on, Reggie. Don't forget, you don't want to be asking them the questions, Reggie.
Yeah, well,
you asked them the questions.
But it was a good exchange, but the exchange took too long. But I understand what both of them saying, but I'm on the side of Brother D, right? It's simple. It's simple.
All right, I'm on the side of Brother Shabazz, because what he said is correct. Y'all keep saying that there was no Black people over here before Columbus. My goddamn family was here, man. I got family who was Washita, full-blooded Washita.
Yeah, but you don't understand.
Washita, Reggie.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, my grandfather, full-blooded Washita, bro.
I don't, but that's not a that's a separate reparations. Wait,
no, I'm saying I'm saying that to say, hold on. I'm just saying that to say, I'm saying that to say, y'all keep saying there was no Black people here, and it was.
sa.neter, that's not my show.
No.
All right, go ahead.
That's not my show.
Okay.
I'm not saying that, and I don't want to argue with you. All I want to say is that's a separate reparations claim than the claim that got started on African slavery.
Ethnogenesis, foundational Black Americans, bro. We one people. That's in the same claim.
Okay, you know
it's not separate. Dude.
All right, go ahead, Reggie. Go ahead. Finish your presentation, brother. Go ahead.
Okay, so
go ahead. Finish your presentation.
I'm from.
Come on, Reggie. Come on. You chopping up. You chopping up now.
Yeah, I'm frozen. You wasted my time.
He's a runner. He's a track star. He gonna run away in the
Let
base
him
get
go. Let
hard.
him go, brother. Let him go, brother. Come on, man. Go ahead, Reggie. Your screen froze on us.
Yeah, I'm frozen.
You will have to
You want to
come back in.
come back in?
Yes, he's gonna have
That's
to.
that FBA energy.
Hey,
All right, chill, brother. Let him come in, man. Let him do his thing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you clear, but there you go.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man, we got to stop saying there was no black people over here, man.
no, sorry, I was not saying.
And when I say black people, I'm talking about people that look like us, melanated people. That's what I'm talking about.
But we gotta talk about the time frames in which they saying that we were always here. That's the problem.
Brother, the Washington been here for over 1,000 years, brother. Before Columbus, man.
But that doesn't predate any other human on any other continent. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but again, like if y'all are gonna making those claims in y'all's argument for trying to obtain reparations, you're gonna muddy the waters.
That's not what I'm not making that claim to say.
No, I'm talking about for them, the quote unquote FBA people though.
And y'all always say, hold up, y'all always say, oh, I deal with science. Let's see your DNA. Well, I took a goddamn DNA and I showed it. Everybody's saying
sa.neter, those genetic markers that they use to identify your quote unquote Native American DNA, it's gonna be traced back to Mongoloid people. It's not. They're not saying that the people that are your progenitors that are Native Americans are quote unquote black. That's not what
The Lucia skeleton is Negroid. The Lucia skeleton, the oldest fossil they found over here is Negroid, not Mongoloid.
Yo, my father is Afro Puerto Rican, brother.
That doesn't mean
I'm not saying he's not.
That doesn't mean that those remains originated over here, though. Just because you find a set of bones somewhere does not mean that originated over here.
Think about it. If it's 10,000 years ago, before the United States of America was built and created by foundational Black Americans, that means that we was here before the United States of America.
People has hands.
You can't substantiate that claim.
As long as people have hands,
USA.
You can't substantiate, and that's the overall overarching point is when you're trying to appeal to a legislative body, you're propagating a narrative that they're going to dismiss. They're not even gonna entertain that. So it's best to just stick with the common narrative that the slave trade that you're trying to appeal to.
But see, that's the problem with the omnipresence that y'all assign to white people. Y'all think they God and whatever they say go.
You're trying to appeal to them legislatively.
When the Native Americans got reparations, it was $5 Indians who got them reparations. It was white people who looked like Native, who signed up to be Native American that got them reparations. They weren't asking them, how long have you been Native American?
One mic, brother. One mic. Let him talk.
It's not just white scholars that's.
No, I was talking about Jabril. Jabril was talking. You keep cutting him off.
Like I said, when the $5 Indians got reservations, casinos, tax breaks, all of this type of stuff, when the white ones, they wasn't grilling them or asking them. It wasn't other Indian people or white people grilling them and asking them, how long you been Indian, brother? How many feathers do you have? How did you collect those feathers from Arizona or Canada? No. All that's tether talk and tether babble. You feel me? And that's no disrespect to you. That's a childish response. That's no disrespect to you. But if you take it personal, that means.
Shabazz, how old are you, bro?
I'm 34.
Closest to the neo-Nazis.
Yeah, we the same age.
You guys are saying just because you have the blood, then you claim the land. That's the same thing as the neo-Nazis did.
Brother, what foundational Black Americans is, to be simple and for the last time, it's an ethnogenesis of indigenous blood here, whether it's the red man, whether it's the black man, or the Europeans who raped our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? All of that was formed in us, and we built and created America. We're not trying to go back to Aztec or Inca or Aborigines in Australia. We're not doing all of that. What a foundational Black American is Black people in America who are from this land who did not immigrate here. That's all it is. It don't matter. It don't matter what my opinions is or my feelings is or the next person's is. Your lineage and your ancestry is here. It don't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, none of that stuff matters. All of that stuff is babble and time wasting tactics. That's not being on code, and that's the only thing that slowed us up. We got informants and agents inside of the movement, and one of our people who look like us who come in to unnecessarily confuse things.
That's right.
That's the only thing that stop our progress. Is talking points like this, and people do it for ego and breadcrumbs from their table, and they house about to burn down. Hold up, bro. They house about to burn. This country about to get destroyed. If they don't give foundational Black Americans reparations, this country will be destroyed. Look at it. You see what's going on in the world. You see
your premise. You are propagating a self-defeating premise.
Economy. This dollar about to crash because they playing with our money. They hurting themselves. They deny universal health care because Black people will get it. They hurting themselves, and you want to be lined up with them for what? You want them to smile at you for what? What do you want? What kind of butter biscuits do you want? They not that good, bro. They GMO butter biscuits, dude. It's either you own code and you with us, or you gonna burn with this land. That's simple. That's simple. That's why we delineate.
All right. Let N'Golo talk now. Okay, brother.
But see, this you don't like. These people exist in a realm of cognitive dissonance and pathology. So on one hand, you're gonna say the economy of the country is gonna fall, but then you're trying to lobby the same legislative bodies to compensate you for punitive damages. Like it makes no sense. You people do not think coherently, and this is the problem with y'all, bro. Y'all, you muddy the waters. What Reggie's saying is clear. You're muddying the waters for your overall end game. If you want to acquire reparations, you have to use the term word magic. When you appealing to the United States legislative body, you have to be specific with semantics. It's not I can just use these terms that either or hit. You have to be specific, or your case is going to be dismissed. You have to be organized and intelligent and astute. It's not about all of this emotional internet buzzword stuff. That's why, bro, people like the dude that was speaking, bro, y'all make y'all's lineage as far as from a legislative level look extremely bad. Somebody like you does not need to be speaking for your lineage.
Where you from? Where you from?
It doesn't matter where I'm from. It doesn't matter where I'm from.
Where your people from?
All right. That's it.
Why you talking on our business?
Let's get Dex in. Dex, go ahead, brother.
So what I was saying, I understand that you said that you had family that were already over here, but the thing that we're saying, because I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm gonna speak for myself or how I feel. What I'm saying is basically like we trying to figure out the timeline of when everybody were always over here. You know what I mean? So when you say we were already over here, from what time period are you talking about? The beginning of the time? What time period are y'all talking about? That this is like the question that needs to be answered is like, what period of time are y'all talking about?
1776. Before 1776, before the United States of America. We was over here before the United States of America. How about that?
I'm saying the timeline.
Now
like,
what?
Okay,
now what? Okay. We was over here before the United States of America was formed. Now what? Now what? What's next?
You're not listening to my question. My question is
all right. No. That's it. Dr. Reggie is back. We gotta let Reggie finish. Let him finish. He's back.
All right, so before I got cut off, so I wanted to show the definition of delineate, because again, here's the trick. People think that some people, my opposition is saying that I'm playing word games, but I'm actually going to the dictionary. So when I go to the dictionary, right, and I read a dictionary item and that's what it is, then I could say that I'm not playing word games. What you're doing is reframing words to get our people to your point. So let's just go to delineate, for example, because I want to make sure that the words that they are using, right, are the correct words, because we can't go anywhere if we don't have a shared vocabulary. Am I wrong? Okay. So delineate, verb, right, It's a verb, to describe, to portray, or set forth with accuracy or in detail. That's what it is. To indicate or represent by drawn or painted lines. That's all. A delineator is a person that delineates, right? This is all that it means. So then I hear a whole bunch of stuff. We are delineating. What does that mean? Does that mean that you are drawing or painting a line? Okay, you're separating. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But what are you separating? Right? To describe, to portray, or set forth with accuracy or in detail. Right? So that's fine. You're describing. So now you're delineating if that is what you're describing. But now I guess your description is bloodlines and your description is lineage. Well, lineage, you're not using correctly. Bloodlines, how could that be established in a court of law? None of that actually works, right? So what happens is that we have a whole community that's using words that are not in a dictionary. It's, if we want to bring this to ask for something, it seems that we are so confused about what we're asking, because when I ask these people for a plan for something that we can study, like the HR 40, right? Even like what ADOS has put forth, we don't have anything from them. So now let me go on with this. So I want to ask the panel, is the word delineate or delineating, is it what the dictionary, is what FBA is doing? Is it the dictionary definition of it? Is it clear? Or is it just a word that they're using to have some magical abilities? So I'm gonna stop sharing till I bring up the next point. So I want to ask the dictionary word of delineating, because when we go into courts of law, write proposals and all of that, delineating just means what it means. But I want to ask the panel, or is the FBA using the correct word?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? There's no hate on nobody on here, but delineate, once again, for the people who just slow as F. Delineate, to describe or portray something precisely. How much more clear and precise can it be portrayed than saying that, hey, we are foundational Black Americans are not immigrants? How much more? And that don't mean that we hate immigrants. Absolutely. That don't mean that we hate anybody. That just mean that we're not immigrants. That's all it means. That it cannot be portrayed any more precise than that. Foundational Black Americans are not immigrants to the United States of America. Okay. That's it, brother.
That's right.
That's facts.
Okay, that's wonderful. How does that help you get reparations?
Well, the first thing, like I said, is to be on code and to be unified. We need to be one. We need to be one, so that when we ask for reparations, like the dude who went to the Breakfast Club, Byron Donaldson said he's not for reparations because he's Jamaican and Panamanian, though he looks like a foundational Black American. He said he's not for reparations because his family would not get it. That's complete disrespect. So the first thing we need to do is delineate. All of the foundational Black Americans get on code, and now we got that understanding. And the majority of foundational Black Americans who are on code and who agree to get reparations, we gonna get them by any means possible. That's it. Any means possible.
Can I say something, please? Can I say something? I've been very patient. I'm just saying that when you say Foundation Black America is fighting, we are fighting because we were abused. No different than feeling like the Africans came over here and they were put enslaved. The people that was already on these lands were also enslaved. So we have a right to ask for reparations for what our families have lost on this land and how we are still being treated on these lands, the ones that are on foundational Black Americans. We're saying that we are not from nowhere else. Just like he said, my family all the way back to the 1600s, I can find my family on these lands right here, right? Why don't nobody ask the Africans where they from? Why do we have to be from Africa, Johnny come lately? Because we didn't start saying we were from Africa until somebody started calling us African Americans. Because I always put everybody to the test. I ain't go to school with no Africans, no Jamaican. That was Johnny come lately stuff, the African stuff. So what I'm saying is we have a right to stand up and ask for reparations for what we lost on these lands. Even the fact that you brung Africans over here, entwined them with us and enslaved them with us, if that's what happened. But we do know for a fact that our people on these lands were abused by the enemy. So we have a right to ask for reparations for everything that we lost on these lands. And why are we always so worried about what's going on over that's happening to the Africans? Why can't we worry about what's happening to us? What has happened to us throughout the years and what is still happening to us now?
And we the only ones fighting for it. And if the Haitians want reparations, they need to go to the French.
Smart, Reggie, when I was asking you, are you for us getting reparations or not? Because if you got an idea that can help make this come to a fruition, please get with the Foundation Black Americans and say, look, this is what we need to do, X, Y, and Z. This is what we need to do. We don't need, that's the wrong word to use. Like you're saying online, you shouldn't use this word because this word may stop something from happening. Instead of like putting the program down, we should be lifting up because the movement is good. Everything starts with a movement. So the movement is good. It's real good. And I'm proud of anybody that is standing up for us. I'm proud of them. So
okay, can I come back to my show?
So you know, that's all I wanted to really say. Ask the Africans where they're from, and I'm done with that.
Okay. So the problem is that you're asking the government or organizations if that's you're not necessarily fighting for Black liberation or anything like that. You're asking, what you did is you put some candy in front of our people. And of course, our people feel that they're harmed and our people feel that they need to be compensated, right? The question is on your parts is that you haven't, for y'all, it's everybody that's melanated. So you want the oppressor to compensate everybody that's melanated, those who are here in this country, those who came during the slave trade, and those, and certainly not those who are immigrants. I don't have a problem with the part of the immigrants, right? Anybody who came after the 1870s, I don't have a problem with that. But Posner said a harm to your ancestors is not a harm to you. He simply said that, and we can't get past that threshold. So
you can prove that it is that's a lie, though.
Alert! Boule alert! Boule alert!
I don't care if it's a lie. It's a hurdle, and if the hurdle is there, then then it's for us to fix the hurdle. But just because you're asking them to give you something, then you're going to say that that's a lie instead of trying to solve the problem as to how you're going to get past the hurdle. Right,
Brother Reggie, they're not but that's from a legislative standpoint, they're not reasonable. They don't understand what precedence means in a legal term.
No, I know that, and that's the problem, because then what happens is that it goes into divide and conquer, right? So as long as we are not clear, right? As long as we're not clear, we're going to have these problems. And clarity means that you put forth a plan. Now, why were all of our other plans destroyed?
Because people weren't on code. And our little bro who said we don't understand all the legal stuff. That's the thing about foundational Black Americans, right? We got some very talented.
Like the video, thumb up the video.
We got some genius lawyers. You feel me?
Where are they tonight?
Genius lawyers who do understand.
But that's what you're not one of them. So why are you speaking for them? That's what I'm saying. I don't need to be talking.
Who do understand. And if you're not a part of our lineage, don't be talking about our business.
That's the problem. And you're making your lineage look bad.
If you're not a part of it, if you ain't gonna help, if you only here to criticize, if you only here to put your ego first and big yourself up, to intellectualize yourself and esteem yourself on a higher platform, that's what stopped us.
That's right.
what stopped
No,
the
bro,
movement.
what,
That automatically eliminated
we're
the
talking
threat.
about a
We got
claim that
genuine,
keeps
we
getting
got
shot down in
genuine.
court.
sa.neter is still my show. Still
And
my
they know
show.
what they've done to us. They already know that's why they put
sa.neter.
words
Exactly.
so it fail.
Hey, sa.neter. It's still my show, and I would say I'm giving the reason why I am making these claims is for you to come on and show our people.
Hold on, Reggie. You keep saying it's your show, but you keep passing the mic.
I'm not passing the mic.
So why everybody talking?
Because I ain't got no control. You're not here.
All right. So I thought you were showing your presentation.
No, I was.
All right, come on, so I can see your screen.
Right. I was. So I'm putting it on. 1 second. All righty. Okay. So 2 things I want to show. I just want to show a video, get people upset. So let me show my video. Let's go bring my video first.
Peace, y'all. Thank you. Peace and respect to the room. Thank you, sa.neter. Peace. Thank you, Reggie. I'm out.
Peace.
All right, peace. So
Peace,
give me
Jaleel Shabazz.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu
Peace,
alaikum.
lady. Wa alaikum salam. Peace, y'all. I love y'all. On that SBA.
Okay, great. So my brother, one of my brothers said that we have talented people. Where are they? Where are the talented people who have written the proposal, the plan, showed the receipts? Where are they? It's always
the YB.
It's always we haven't seen a plan. Family, have we in the chat? Have we seen a plan? Is there a plan that we can point to?
No plan.
The plan is being on code. He already said it.
Plan
There's not a plan, though.
agree
If they
with
came up with FBA.
Yo, hold on. Everybody talking. Let Reggie finish. Let him finish.
We want to see some tangibles, and the first tangible we want to see is something that makes sense. That's all. We want to see a plan. Is that
groups are ignorant on delineation.
okay? So
You ain't showing nothing, Reggie.
No, I'm
by class.
But Reg, I thought you said you seen Tariq go up against people and argue FBA and everything. So he must have had a plan before he went up there and did it.
Show me the
It
plan.
might have failed, but he did have a plan. He did have something that he wanted to say. I don't know if it was written down on paper. I'm not sure because I wasn't, there. But he must have had a plan when he went in there.
Tariq is not the leader. Tariq is not. He's a great spokesperson. He's not. But he's not the leader. Where's the plan from the talented people?
I'm not sure, but I'm just.
You don't have a plan. So let me go back. Let me go back. You can be upset, but anybody.
Reggie, that's what I think you misunderstand.
When it came up with FBA, if it wasn't a plan.
You keep talking, fine. He go my short presentation. Get you mad. I have 2 more. 1 second. You're fighting with no plan. Thank you very much. So, okay, so let me just play this to get you upset, maybe get your thoughts. Now, in the beginning of the screen, there's an FBA, and of course, there is Europeans behind them, right? Now, you might take it that the Europeans are controlling him, or you could take it as the Europeans are watching him. You could take it either way. But the fact of the matter is, all the things that they put on everybody else.
Yeah, play the video.
There's a vote. sa.neter, right? Don't talk to me like that. You can just leave. You can just leave and do your own show, right?
FBA groups are ignorant on delineation. Black people are already delineated. We are split by class, by shade, by zip code, by religion, by passport, by politics, cut up into little market segments and hashtags, while the same system that carved up.
Okay, so now it's louder, so let me play it. You're mad. I know you're mad.
FBA groups are ignorant on delineation. Black people are already delineated. We are split by class, by shade, by zip code, by religion, by passport, by politics, cut up into little market segments and hashtags, while the same system that carved us up keeps eating. The tragedy is not that FBA language exists. The tragedy is that some of the loudest FBA voices have no serious study of how delineation has been used against Black people for 400 years, and yet they think they've discovered a new strategy. This shows how ignorant they are. Whoever came up with this is not bright at all. If I am wrong, show historically in America the success. We will wait. Let's be clear. Delineation is not new. Slaveholders separated house versus field. The law did free vias enslaved. Jim Crow did Negro versus mulatto. The church did saved versus street. Northern elites did respectable versus ghetto. Immigration policy did native versus foreign born. Every era had its neat little line inside blackness, dangling a tiny reward to the good side and punishment to the bad side. And today, some FBA rhetoric walks right into that same trap, confusing a necessary legal category for reparations with a social caste system, then acting shocked when it produces the exact same poison. The ignorance is stunning. You cannot scream lineage, 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 while acting like lineage is the first and only line that ever mattered. You cannot ignore the history of internal division, then pretend your version of division will magically turn into power. That is not strategy. That is historical illiteracy wrapped in bravado. When you weaponize FBA against other Black people, Africans, Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos, you are not fighting white supremacy. You are doing white supremacy's HR work for free. 3 minutes of truth. When you spend more time policing who is real Black than confronting who is real power, you are practicing self-harm. When your energy goes into attacking other Black groups online while corporations, banks, and governments move policy and money in the background, you are not woke. You are a distraction. When you mimic nativist rhetoric, talk about our country like you own the flag that enslaved your ancestors, and side-eye the rest of the diaspora, you are not protecting your lineage. You are cosplaying the people who branded it. The ignorance of FBA delineation is this. It mistakes scarcity for strategy. It assumes there is one tiny slice of pie, and the only way to eat is to elbow every other Black person away from the table. Meanwhile, the people who bake the pie and own the kitchen are laughing. They have watched this movie before. Blacks versus Blacks in every flavor. Elite versus poor. Light versus dark. Native versus immigrant. Braids versus weaves. They know how it ends. We tear each other up over crumbs. They keep the bakery. If FBA was serious, it would study delineation first. It would know the difference between a precise legal category for reparations and a social ideology that sneers at the rest of the Black world. It would know that you can demand a targeted debt to a specific harm to Black Americans, not lineage from slavery, and still build global Black alliances. It would know that the only reason foundational means anything is because of unpaid work done under a system that depended on our division. To repeat that division as a lifestyle is to spit on the very ancestors you claim to defend. So here is the hard word. Any FBA politics that refuses to study this history is not radical, not strategic, and not liberatory. It is emotionally satisfying, algorithm friendly, and system approved. It is loud, but it is not smart. And in a world where Black people are already delineated by forces far bigger than hashtags, ignorance of delineation is not just an academic mistake. It is a weapon pointed at us that some of us are now proudly loading ourselves.
Okay.
FBA.
Okay, so that's one. So the issue, the whole point of that part of the presentation is to say that while we're fighting about who gets crumbs, Europeans still own the bakery, right? When we don't have a plan or a study on anything, but go to magic to say that we are a lineage, and as if being a lineage and using the word wrong is going to give us something that is really problematic. When people ask who are critics ask for receipts, what you do is you turn on the same people and say, well, what are the receipts that you've done but these people have receipts in the movement for years and years. But your groups say that you can do it better. But what we say is fine. Where we started was with plans, with proposals, with being on commissions, talking to commissions, right? What we have done, we've actually showed you real receipt. What we ask you for your receipts, we get talk. We get things like, we're just a lineage. Our plan is on code, right? But none of that stuff can you bring in a court of law. You get upset when people criticize, but I've been in places where the European, they salivate to throw out your cases because it's a nothing burger, because you're confused. You don't go through all of the things that need to be done, but then you're asking them to give you something, and they're just not going to give it to you just because you want it, right? So where's my other video? So if you think I'm wrong, then and if you have the smart people, right? And I'm sure you might have a few smart people. Bring the smart people on, right? Bring the people who have written. Bring the people who have written proposals. Let me see their proposals, and then if you want to do what Sister Freedom keeps trying to say, let's work together. I can't work together with nobody without a presentation, without a proposal. That don't make no sense to me, right? I mean, work together with somebody without a plan. Where's this thing? This thing.
Reggie, did you ask if they got a plan?
Yo, hold on. I want Reggie to finish, man, before we open up the mic.
Well,
social media is
Thank you, Reggie. I'm gonna leave.
You ain't gotta leave, sister. Freedom. I just want Reggie to finish, so then we can open up the floor for the questions.
Okay, so here's my other. Well, I mean, my whole thing is that is what happens. There's the tough questions of simply asking for tangibles. One, a plan. That's all, right? And I'm asking the people to see if the language that they're using is valid language. Here's my next presentation.
Well, FBA social media is upset that Professor Small implied that it's FBI. Well, you know the old saying, if it quacks like a duck. No, the FBA is not the FBI or the CIA. It is what it is, which is a black-run pseudo-lineage that began in 2019 of social media branders. However, I got a few questions for our people, those who have been around for a while and for the street. Who specializes in ripping speeches apart to find the most divisive lines and blast them back at the public? PsyOps and intel people. Who plants stories to spark beef, turn allies into enemies, and keep a community at war with itself? PsyOps and intel people. Who rewrites history, erases elders, and swaps out real legacy for a fake origin story that flatters new leaders with no track record? PsyOps and intel people. Who manufactures fake consensus, bots, burner accounts, echo chambers, so a noisy fringe suddenly looks like the people? PsyOps and intel people. Now look at FBA. They've tried to rewrite and rename Black history, acting like centuries of simply the struggle to feed our families and have equal rights, community organizing, Black nationalist struggle, Pan-African struggle, civil rights organizing, and global Black solidarity either failed or never happened. They've made attacking Black elders and leaders a brand, calling people who actually fought and bled for us agents, dinosaurs, and grifters, while offering no comparable sacrifice and no comparable wins. They have imagined themselves as the new Black intelligentsia or Black agenda or Afro-elite that have no receipts in anything concerning Black liberation, and this includes reparations. They have come up with delineation. Last time I checked, that never worked for our people, but it has for the oppressor. What's fact is that they never studied delineation. This is how Africans were tricked into trafficking other Africans into the slave trade until those who did it were trafficked themselves. Then, Black Americans who were Christianized and free in the South bought newly arrived enslaved for their land. Then the delineated partnered with the oppressor and warned them of riots and uprising. They brag about institutions, economics, and power with zero receipts, no elected officials, no attendance on reparation commissions, no written studies or papers, no workable reparations framework, no verified programs, just live streams, slogans, and moving goalposts. They control their YouTube channels like Trump rallies, targeting anyone who opposes. At some point, you stop pretending this is an accident. You come to the conclusion that they use the same strategies the oppressor uses. Then they act as victims. Now, FBA members, before you get your underwear in a bunch. I am not saying all of you are, or many of you are, but you have to be ignorant if you don't think FBA is not infiltrated by the authorities. Every organization we have ever created was. You are delusional if you don't think one of the largest social media group of channels speaking to Black people is free from this. Do you? Most of you are just donors, contributors, trying to figure out how to feed your families and make a living, not the ones at the top. They get monthly checks from white business advertisers and are never striked. Interesting? However, if it divides like an op, distracts like an op, erases history like an op, and delivers exactly what an op is designed to deliver: confusion, infighting, and no structural change. It's not just quacking like a duck. It's waddling, flapping, and leading our people straight off a cliff. Now let me ask our underworld, those who do street business, those who see themselves and their neighbors caught up in RICO and state conspiracy cases, those who know about conspiracy cases, rats, and confidential informants. What do you think about the tactics going on here? I'm talking about the tactics of kicking people out of live streams, calling them names, muting them. What do you think about faceless channels, alias screen names, and the money exchanged? Some of you have cleaned up your act and pivoted to promoting your music and brands. Do you wonder why your views are so low, you get striked by YouTube, channels are lost, shadow banned, and these people with all of their divisive talk get a free ride? You find that interesting. Do you think they are being helped? All they have to do is attack a Black immigrant and get thousands of views, or attack an 80-year-old Black man, the same age as Donald Trump. Let's keep it a buck. No, are they not the authorities, but given the effort you put in and the sacrifices, are these people working harder than you? No, they're getting helped. What about all this dry snitching going on? Riding with ICE to remove Black immigrant families. I bet they moving into their homes as soon as these people are snatched or getting a finder's fee. They have crossed the damn line already, so this would not be below them. Hundreds of Somali people are being arrested by ICE as we speak. You buying up property there? You informed on them. You made yourselves the gatekeepers, so own this. That's delineation, isn't it? Let's discuss.
Yeah. So, my whole thing, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So, before I put this on, I just want to go back to YouTube, and I want to say something. And I don't know the brother. Well, I don't know the brother personally, but I know it's really interesting to me. So when we see this video, James Small says FBA is CIA. Let's pull up the video. I'm not gonna. There it goes. There. I'm gonna share it in a second. There it goes right there. Okay. So let me share my screen.
Whose video is that, Reggie? You know niggas when niggas be flagging, man.
No, I'm not gonna play the video at all. You know, of course they would flag you. I'm not gonna do that. You know, I'm sa.neter. You know, I'm smarter than that, right? Okay, so let's go here. I'm just gonna show screen. Show my screen. Okay, 101,000 views 10 days ago. Professor Small, FBA is the CIA. My response. By the Black Authority. The Black Authority, he has the most views on this. Does anybody ask who the Black Authority is? sa.neter, do you know who the Black Authority is?
No, who is it?
Okay, well, Remember when I said walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, right? Is a duck. I'm asking the FBAs, do you know who the Black Authority is? He's one of your channels, right? Who gave him permission to greenlight Professor Small? He got 101,000 views. A lot of these other channels, all they do is talk negatively about people, right? And they never strike, sa.neter. They never strike. Your channel, you say one thing and you're striked, right? So let's just do this for example. The Black Authority. Interesting, Black Authority. Who is the Black Authority? Let me show you something. This bothers us. This bothers us. So if I go over here, Black Authority, Jason Black. Let's go here. Go ahead. Okay, the Black Authority. Who is Jason Black? The Black Authority, right? Who is this person? Well, I'm
somebody that you're promoting right now.
Wait, watch
somebody
this.
Runs the Black Authority now.
No, see, you are such a.
I'm trying to tell you how this thing works, brother.
Okay, well, great. You don't think I know? So what if I say who his real name is?
No, you're showing his channel, so it don't matter.
Right, Jeremy Lloyd Smith. Jeremy Lloyd Smith. He's the Black Authority, right? Right? Okay, and the Twitter says x.com. It says he is one of FBA's famous authorities, right? That's what it says. Who is Jeremy Lloyd Black? I just want to see who is the Black Authority channel, right? Who greenlighted Professor Smalls. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to leave it up to the rest of you to go further, right? I'm not even going to say allegedly. I'm going to say you want to greenlight Professor James Small, FBA, but then I got to see who is greenlighting Professor Small. And if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, I want to make sure that these people that do things like this are not in the harm's way of the authorities, that the authorities could control them, that they're free of any, what do you call it? Free of any entanglement. But he got a lot of views on Professor Smalls. I'm not going to do a video on him. I'm not going to promote him. What I am going to say is, if you greenlight Professor Small, your house better be clean. And I'm just trying to say, and then if I go through some of the other people who are not Tariq is somebody we could talk to. Always said that, right? He's our brother. We could talk to him. I'm talking about the people that did something like this. I want to say, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and if I go to my street people, right, and I call some of my other brothers out who were formerly street, they would say, man, they got a little control over him. To go into a person's video and pull out something to make it, to put this out. So now I have some other things that I want to do, but I'm going to chill right now. I'm feeling real good because if it's just a lineage, right, and there's no control and things like this happen, right, then I just say the European, he got the bread factory and we just the crumbs and the ingredients. And he's laughing at us, especially when we're not clear with the language that he forced us to have. Now we use it. Now we want to use his courts. And then we want to use his courts and we want to ask for reparations. And we are unintelligible. We are unintelligible. We don't make sense. We're not clear. And he's going to say he created all the latches in the courts. So when we do it, it can be thrown out. And then you're just saying, well, that's the European. And yes, that is a European. I don't play, but you want to play his game. You want to tout in front of our people reparations. Reparations is something that we can get, but we can't get it the way that they are. So maybe on another show, share my screen again. I don't know what happened. You stopped sharing my screen. Okay, so I wrote this paper, Legally Defensible Repair for New York State, a harm-based framework to address systemic inequity and exclusion, right, of residents in New York by federal, state, city policies, right? I wrote this paper. I submitted this paper, right? It's more than 25 pages. I'm talking about harm to existing people in New York who are African descent, right? African descent over the last 50 years. 50 years is their cutoff, right? And talking about repair, right? Talking about standing and causation. Posner dismissed most claims because defendants cannot prove a concrete individualized harm. Case law, directly traceable to the defendants, corporations that profited from slavery. This causal chain from slavery era profits to modern disparities was deemed too attenuated, too long, right? Right? So then they talk about Etna's 1850. Then they talk about statute of limitations. Then they talk about the narrow exception for a state representation. They're saying that you can't have a cause of action for your ancestors if you're not the authorized representative of your family's estate. How do you fix that hurdle? That's a legal hurdle. You just can't come in and my great grandmother, my great grand, or you the authorized representative of the state of that estate. If you're not, right? If you're not, the court won't hear you. How do you deal with that? Well, you might deal with that with a class action suit. But then what are you talking about? So then I talk about I talk about different reparation cases, right? Evanston, right? Evanston got 25,000 housing grants for residents of neighborhoods harmed by 1919 to 1969 discriminated survived legal scrutiny by avoiding explicit racial criteria. How they got reparations for those residents? They got it by not dealing with fuzzy language, but like explicit racial or connected to the slave trade. They got it by showing actual harm, right? I could go on and on and on. If anybody wants me to come on, I could talk about legal justification through disparate impact. I could talk about Evanston surviving a lawsuit, right? I could talk about the California State Task Force, right? Okay, that they proposed, right? But they're rewriting their application. Asheville, North Carolina, right? They avoided strict scrutiny because they did it the right way, right? There's language that you use and there's language that you don't use. So over here, like if I wanted to look at the Bronx, because I'm from New York State, I could talk about family regulation system targeting, right? How Black families were harmed, right? They're 7x more likely than white families to be reported to ACS, right? Proof, structural link, environmental racism, harm. South Bronx is in the center of congestion, hospitalization through asthma, right? Why? Because of the highways and the facilities there causing pollution. I could do a claim on that. Kings County, redlining and wealth extraction happening all through Bed-Stuy, right? Right? Gentrification. Could talk about housing units in Brooklyn. Could talk about Barclays Stadium, right? Queens County. This is how you do reparations based on harm base. You don't have to use fuzzy language, right? Because the fuzzy language doesn't work. You have to go specific to particular harm. But if you're not doing the work, right? Racial profiling, stop and frisk. Floyd versus the city of New York, right? Talked about a particular case, right, of racial profiling, right? That not just Floyd dealt with, but a lot of people in New York State deal with that. Marriage equality and federal influence, right? I could talk about this particular marriage where a person was denied spousal tax benefits. Black people, that happens all the time in courts, family court, right? I could talk about, let me just see, okay, I could talk about the Vulcan Society case. You're not from New York, so you don't know New York. People from New York don't know. The Vulcan Society was a fire department, black firemen. They sued the city for discrimination. They won on their disparate impact case, and they won on their individual class action suit for discrimination. Why? Because they documented individual and collective harm. You have to do that, right? No fuzzy language here, right? No fuzzy language, right? So if I do want to talk about lineage-based exclusion, it's only one part. Descendants of individuals excluded from federal programs or displaced by policies. I'm talking about particular families. Then I'm talking about the black farmers, right? Who were excluded from loans. This is documented harm, not fuzzy. I was, trafficking in the slave trade, and I'm not making light of that. And ever since then, my ancestors, they were racially discriminated. That's fine. You have to show actually who, how, where, right, to get relief. So when someone goes over and says some crazy stuff, they're talking about, well, where does your how can I say, what have you done, or where's it getting you from? Well, first you got to do the work, right?
All right, Reggie, let's try to open up for questions, because I don't want to take too long.
I'm not finished, right? I'm just not finished. I got about 4 or 5 minutes, right?
Oh, right, good.
So instead of using the word reparations, right, sometimes it's fuzzy. You can say intergenerational equity grants, systemic harm remediation, historical exclusion compensation, right? Place-based restitution, community restoration grants, race-based remedy. Instead of saying race-based, say harm-based remedy. Say disparate impact. Black Americans, say descendants of federally excluded households, right? So I looked at all of the terms, and I came up with things that are neutral, that will survive the 14th Amendment equal protection. Because when you see this, they attack this. When they see this, they can't attack this. So sometimes you have to hide your hand. But I'm finished my going through my paper. So before anybody says, what have you done? I could show you where I testified in city for the City Council of New York in 2001. I could show you my papers on reparations. I show you mine, you show me yours. Don't just talk me to death. Don't do the imaginary ghost, the I Dream of Jeannie, right? Don't tell me that we're working on it, right? You've been here 5 years. I could write a paper like this in 3 months, right? Don't talk me to death. Show me a path. Show me a plan. Now you can open up the lines.
All right. One thing I want to say real quick is that when you're an organized group, people listen to you. People respect you more. People see discipline. When you are unorganized and you have no leadership, you just have anybody coming up saying anything and sounding dumb and stupid and making the movement look bad. And there's a lot of people so happy that the FBA don't have a leader, that the FBA and everybody can be a leader. That's the problem with it. You see, it should be a leader in every city that's dealing with FBA. If you're serious about the movement, there should be someone you have to look up to to where everybody come to and you make some moves, that's when you know it's a movement now. And it's like y'all happy to say, oh no, we're not an organization. Yeah, so now you're not an organization. So you got grown-ass men and women speaking on a 5th grade goddamn level for FBA. And that's why you sound silly and ignorant as hell. And now you arguing with people about it because you sound goddamn silly. Some of them, a lot of them that I spoke to, you know, not all of y'all. I'm not speaking of all of y'all. Some of you, a lot of you do have degrees. A lot of you do have this. But I'm saying the ones that's out there speaking sound like they speaking on the 3rd grade level. They have no education. They have no degrees. And they just happy to just talk. Just happy to be a part of something. You know? So I'm telling you from experience, because I come from an organized group. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I could talk this and talk and tell you. I have the Black Panther Party in my background. Not the new black, not this stuff that y'all see today. I'm talking about the real new Black Panther Party with Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. So I know how it is when you are organized, when people respect the movement in the street. When you're dealing with FBA, you still got to, in order to get the people to listen and to follow, you still gonna have to feed them. Come up with some free food programs. Come up with 10-point programs. Like something you got to begin to teach the people how to respond, what to say. And you're not doing that. So everybody just get up and just say any goddamn thing, anything, and look stupid. So I believe that the FBA need to really go back and take a look at what they're doing and say, you know what? We should have some type of leadership going on in every city. So we can all what Reggie say? Be on code. So we can all have uniformity and be on code. But we're not. People saying any goddamn thing. And that's why you look stupid in these streets. And that's why the white man ain't gonna respect you. It should be lawyers. I know we got some lawyers that's FBA. Why they not stepping up? There's lawyers in the movement. Why they not stepping up? There's scientists in the movement. Why they not stepping up? Because there's no organization. That's why. And y'all free to do any goddamn thing you want to do. That's why. And you happy that there's no organization. Why? Because black people don't like to follow black people. Black people hate to follow someone else. Everybody want to be the goddamn leader. Everybody want to be a leader. You see? Nobody want to follow. And so now you got a group of niggas in chaos. I'm sorry to say it. That's what it is. It's in chaos. At least ADOS, they have organizations. Am I right, Reggie? They organize.
Not everybody can speak for them.
Right.
Everybody
they organize, man.
Everybody can jump on and speak for and mess up. And the last thing I want to say on this, because you're 100% right.
And so I do support, I want to make it clear, I support FBA because I am FBA, according to my brother Rashid. Tariq Nasheed. He told me, sa.neter, you FBA. I said, all right, brother, I'm FBA. But I'm still critiquing it right now.
But in the meantime, well, he said that it hasn't populated down to take the green light off.
Let me holler at you for a minute.
Well, I'm talking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but I'm talking. So the dude that green lighted Professor Small, he was able to speak for FBA, just anybody. He the whole black authority. So now we went all the way wrong. Is anybody there going to say, brother, take the video down? That's not really what we want to do at this particular time. No, it's going to stay up there because anybody can speak for the FBA. I'll stop. Give it back to you, sa.neter.
Trell, what's up, brother? What's up?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, my bad. All right, so side. The thing about it, man, the reason why we say it's not an organization is because I feel like two different things is being conflated right now. ADOS is an organization, but when we say FBA, all we're saying is your lineage comes from slavery. So everybody within that lineage isn't fighting for reparations, but we can create organizations of the ones who are. But every time someone say reparations, y'all automatically conflate it to FBA when that's not what FBA means. So it's like even when we talk about the delineation thing, when Reggie kept bringing that up, at the end of the day, we know what we mean. We're not going into the courts talking about delineation. Delineation comes from the grassroots level because when we first started talking about reparations, one of the first things we were told is, "Oh, how are you guys going to get reparations when it's all these black people? We don't even know who's who." So we was like, okay, well, that means we need to separate ourselves to where they understand that we're the descendants from slaves and everyone else is of the diaspora. It wasn't no beef. It wasn't anything like that. So that's how that first got started. So, and then it's like, fast forward, when we're talking about the reparations claim, like I said, to be FBA don't mean you're fighting for reparations. We have 40 million FBAs. Everybody's not fighting for reparations. Everybody don't even refer to
You
themselves
got
as
40 million
FBA. But all
FBAs?
we're saying is
You ain't got
simply,
40
we
million.
don't want to be called African American. It's not a movement. It's not a group. We can create a group within the lineage, sure, but we're not saying that. We're just saying we don't want to be called African American because we want to be known as our own distinctive group. We had an ethnogenesis. So instead of attacking the movement just because some people are using some roles wrong with all these semantics, we should just be teaching people what we should be doing. Because maybe we should be, instead of fighting for the lineage side of it, maybe we should be fighting to be recognized as an ethnic group. And maybe that will get us in the door. So it's like we can be way more proactive, but it seems like everybody is just criticizing. It seems like it's some hate behind it. And it's
Y'all
like
started the
for some
hate.
reason, everybody just groups everybody together because you get online and hear a couple of people talking crazy. That doesn't mean nothing. That they don't represent the movement or whatever everybody keep calling it, because it's not a movement. That's why a lot of FBAs don't care about, trying to prove anything, because we're not trying to prove it to nobody. It's nothing that we out here trying to prove. All we saying is we don't want to be called African American. We want to be called this. Like we have a lot of African Americans that just live in regular life. They're not advocating for nothing, but they still African American. So we sa.neter, changing the label on it.
Can
So the
I,
ones
can
who
I,
are
Let him
sa.neter,
finish.
advocating
Let him finish.
but for the ones who are advocating can start moving in that direction. But that's all it's about.
All
That's
right,
really
all right, all right, brother. I hear you. But when you say, yeah, we created just another thing to separate us from the people. No, what you created was another goddamn identity. And we are in an identity crisis. So you just put another name on top of another name, African American, ADOS.
But like the brother said earlier, though,
FBA, Muslims, Israelites, and I can go on and on. So all you did was added another name on top of that to confuse us even more. Because see, when you have a name like that to say this is what we're gonna go by, then you got to have a plebiscite, brother. You can't just come up and say this is what we are. That's the same thing goddamn Jesse Jackson did. He just came up without the permission of no leaders in the community and said, this is who we are. No, you got to have a plebiscite where you bring people together, sit down in an office space and say, this is who we're going to be moving forward. And who agree? And if that's how Europeans do it. They raise their hand, say, yes, I agree. The vote, yes, let's move it forward. But if you don't, then now you just created another goddamn name that we should go by. That's all you did. And now that's why you have people fighting it. You see? You got people fighting it, saying, no, I ain't down that. I'm not this. I'm not that. No, brother. Organization. We got to organize in order to move forward, in order to have people respect us as people, as humans. We got to organize, brother. And if we don't organize, that's why you got FBA fighting FBA. You got FBAs fighting and trying to kill FBA brothers. Each other, Go ahead, Dr. Reggie. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, well, I think that you make a good point. And then when we listen again first of all, sa.neter, can you please have the mods put up my Cash App so I can buy some breakfast tomorrow or something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. $1, $5 if you have it, $10, but $1, $5, and $10.
Hey, Colette, you here?
If there's any mods there, I appreciate that. So the issue is that you're correct. It comes to, we've been through different naming in our country, right?
Get Reggie's link, please, H. Smollett.
Yeah,
all right, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, we've been through the different naming and the different.
Show some love for Dr. Reggie, y'all. $1, $5, $10, whatever y'all can spare. I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So we've been through the period of different namings, and who benefits? The oppressor. When anybody can jump up and say that they're talking about the FBA, and what the brother said, a lot of it made sense, but Sister Freedom and Dots may not agree with him. They have their reparations ain't got nothing to do with necessarily the transatlantic slave trade. Their reparations has something to do. They have already been here and been disenfranchised. And so when I hear that, I laugh, because then I know that they are forcing people to be on code. That is not the same code. There's no codes. It's like what law says. Show us the codes. We know Nellie Fuller's code, a compensatory code, right? Against white supremacy. Where's their code? They keep talking as if they have something, but they have nothing. But you know, these are grown men. They done did their push-ups. They done have some babies and stuff like that, and they're suffering like all of us. But then they don't respect you, sa.neter, for serving with Dr. Khalid Muhammad. They don't respect that. They don't respect me for serving with Dr. Leonard Jeffries. They don't respect that with all the work. They have no receipts, but then they can go and disrespect us, and then go show their colors by disrespecting Professor Small to see how that go. And who disrespected him? Who? We can dock him. I don't want to dock him. I don't even want to say what's going on with that brother. But he's not the person. He's not the person to dress down Professor Small. Oh no, not that brother. No. I don't care what he called himself. He can't dress down Professor Small for what they say allegedly, right? But there's no control. So then I'm gonna close, sa.neter. So given the fact that they're not an organization, right? How do they expect to get anything accomplished?
There you go. There you go.
It boggles my mind.
You're not going to get nothing accomplished because everybody's not on the same wavelength. If you had organization and you had leaders in every city, everybody would know what to do, how to do it, what to say, how to speak. They would know what to do, and they would be more professional. And guess what? The European will respect you more. And then guess what else? They will begin to say, God damn, these niggas here are serious. These niggas are serious. They begin to say that in their rooms. Yo, them niggas are serious. That's a force we're going to have to reckon with. Because now, when you say FBA, we talking about thousands of black men and women coming together. That's why I said I like it. I like it. It just needs some organization to it, some organized to it, because it can really do good for our people, whether y'all like it or not. Can you imagine when you look at these Israelites who don't have no organization? Look at them who are not organized. Look how wild they are, Reggie. But and then look at ISUPK who are organized. You see the difference? Look at IUIC who are organized, whether we agree with them or not. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you are organized, bro. When you got 1,000 men walking in the street in a line, that's organization. That's organized. That's discipline. Whether we like them or not, we can't bang on that. That's discipline, man. You know what I'm saying? See, when you look at the Panthers, that's organized. Look at the Nation of Islam. See how they respect it? See how much they are respected? When you look at all of these organized, hell, look at the Masons. Look at the Black Masons. They organize. And people respect them. The white man respects them.
So there you have it, sa.neter.
That's all I'm trying to tell you, man. It's not bad to have your group being in an organized function. That's not bad. But they making it look like, yeah, we don't have no leader. We good. No, the hell you're not. You're not good.
Nah.
Hey.
I mean, outside, they got the craziest things going on in chat. Leaders get executed. Right?
So what?
They got, watch this. Then you scared. Watch this. Then you scared.
Someone else step up into the plate. Someone else step up. Farrakhan ain't get executed.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so they got imaginary. They got imaginary guard posts, right?
If you scared, get the hell out the way.
Because they were always scared, because they didn't join the Nation of Islam. They didn't join the new Black Panther Party for self-defense. They didn't stand with Dr. Khalid. They didn't stand with Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Professor Small, or definitely not Dr. John Henry Clark. They didn't stand with most of our.
Whoever said that this movement is going to come without no repercussions? Whoever said you're going to get this? Dr. John Henry Clark said they took us in blood, and the only way you're going to get it back is in blood. Simple as that, man.
They want to be safety Negroes on YouTube, but you know why they don't want to create an organization? Because a few people that's on top, they collect all the money. You see the channels that they have? All they got to do is talk about any Black person from West Bubble, whatever, and all they have to do is say something bad about Black Americans, and they making hundreds of dollars. These people not even thinking about their own families. But guess what? It's funny. It's funny, Sa, because if you don't put yourself in a situation where you can't collect money for the people, then it's only the people at the top that's going to get the money and put it in their pockets. And these people, that's my brother Dizali.
Yeah, I just hope some real FBA hear my message. And you know what? Saw do got a point. You know, I hope they do hear it, because, man, listen, just because you are not on code, remember I told you, Reggie, and y'all gonna see it.
Yeah.
I forgot. I should have recorded it. There's the FBA group who wears all black and red, and it's black men and women, and they are on code. They are organized. See? See what I'm talking about? Whatever city that was, that brother stood up and said, you know what? We're gonna organize in where we are from. We're FBA. They had the letters in red, and it was like they had on black. They look good, man, because you know I come from that.
They studied
all black with red stripes, and I was like, damn, that looked good. And they was out there FBA, and the brother was in the front, and he was leading them, and that's what I was feeling. I was liking that. I said, yeah, now that's what I'm talking about.
I'm a stop, but they want to keep people scared and disorganized, so a few people could keep chanting the lineage and FBA, not making no sense, not doing nothing for the people, no receipts whatsoever, right? Keep the people dumb, and then you know the people that's on the bottom, maybe they want to be like that, and I can understand that they're angry and upset. But everybody knows when you clock in on your job, it's organized. You can't do. They pay you. Your check is organized. Unions are organized. Everything is organized. But no, the FBA is going to do it by magic. By magic.
Let's hear what Dizali got to say, man, before I end this show.
Yeah. Yo, thank you, Sar. What's up to my brother Reggie? You put out some excellent, beautiful information this evening. And I want to thank you for that. And I'm going to put something in you and Sock cup as soon as I get a chance to get to my cash app. I'm going to put something in your cup. You know, that's how we supposed to do it. This is our brother Saw business. People need to understand that this is Saw's business. And brother Reggie just gave us a service, and he should be rewarded something for his.
Yeah, they're not. I got about 4 people of all this fighting everybody. Right, but they're not.
No, don't say they're not, Reggie. Just let it go. Thank you. Just thank them. Thank the 4 people, Reggie. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Don't bang on them. Just thank them. Thank the ones that sent you.
I thank the ones who gave.
Yeah, don't bang on them.
I'm not trusting you, sa.neter.
No, I know that. I know that, but I'm just saying, just thank those who did send it. Don't bang on them. Just let them go.
Thank you.
Because maybe next time they'll come through. Who knows?
They ain't gonna be no next time.
You know what I'm saying? And I've been flipping back and forth from this channel with Unc channel. Unc has someone who
I see the people in the chat over here were saying should have come here tonight or should come here. They were saying someone named Dewan B and someone named Sincere. Well, those two FBA gentlemen are over there getting the brakes beat off them over on Don Unk channel. They're over there getting
FBA then.
they're over there getting the absolute brakes beat off of them, because what Unk did is he pulled that misinformation stuff out of them. But that's not what this show was about. But that's something that has to be discussed at another time, probably. But I like what you're saying, Star, concerning organization, and you said something else, respect.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if anyone else, if you, Brother Reggie, or anyone else listening, noticed a correlation with this FBA movement with some of the other movements we have seen. Indians, yeah, ABOs, but we can even take it to stuff such as hip hop and how there's like a youth versus the elders movement, where the youth don't want to have any respect or listen to the elders. They want to say, hey, y'all had y'all chance, y'all didn't get it done. This all about us. This all about East Side now, where they gang everything out, and they have this what would you call it, fanaticism. Like if you look in the chat, you will see words and terms like pan boo boos. The darn Indians started it, pan boo boos. They have this slang, this energy, and we see it in all aspects of anything that we're trying to get done. And that's where it comes into what I spoke on the other day, that we have people who get involved in conversations who really should not be in the conversation, because they have such low level thinking that the elders and the actual founders of the movement, let's say the FBA movement, the actual founders, the actual people who actually brainstormed it, let's give them credit and say that they were coming from a sincere place and they actually know what they are talking about. Let's just take for granted that they do. Then it trickles down to the people who really should just be lamping in the damn background listening, because they don't know. They don't accept science. They don't accept history. They don't know their history. They just want to ride along and turn it into gang banging and thuggery, name calling. That falls under lack of organization, lack of leadership, lack of respect. Things you were saying, sir. So, like you said, black people, we don't like listening to anyone. That's why they don't want a darn leader, because you can do what you want to do. You can say what you want to say. You can say that you've always been here. You can say that black people popped out the ground here. That's why we down FBA. They don't have any direction. And us as black people, we love that, don't we? We love that, sir. We love that. We love being able to say and do whatever we damn want, But yeah, the two people that they were saying should come over here and have a conversation with Dr. Reggie, they're over there getting the brakes beat off of them over there. Pulled it all out. Pulled it out that they think they've always been here, that black people have always been here. They don't want to have nothing to do with Africa. See, they're going to scam you and say they don't have anything against Africa. You got to pull it out of them, though. Pull it out, and they're going to let it all go. They're going to try and damn scam and flim-flam you, but nah. Unfortunately, I really don't have nothing against FBA, because it's nothing but a name change, really. That's all it is. Just a damn name change.
but with no organization, no
Yeah,
structure,
yeah.
no receipts, no tangibles. It's the
Exactly.
worst that we've ever been in with an organization. Everything else that we had has been a functional organization, but now we don't do nothing. We just happy calling ourselves a name.
Hey Reggie, but the reason why it's unorganized too is because it's new. It's very new.
We love new. We love new stuff.
It's new. It was born 2020. That's during the pandemic when everybody was on their computers and rummaging through information that they thought was like very founded. So that's
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. People start new organizations, and you know what? When they started, they get hundreds of thousands of dollars. They organize to start. You've been around for 5 years, and anybody could talk for the organization. You misuse words like lineage and delineation. Yeah, it's brand new. Like restructure, restart it, because you're misusing the English language. Dag it. Dang.
Hey, so Reggie, so about the legalities of it, the legal part of it.
All right, that's the end, y'all. That's it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's it. I want everybody to understand tomorrow. We going in tomorrow. I got my man Selah Shalom back in the building. He's dealing with the Ethiopian Bible Part 2. Part 2. Part 1, if you didn't see Part 1, go on my channel, this channel right here, and take a look at it. He killed it. He smoked it. All right?
And I gotta meet with Dots tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but this one is at 6 o'clock, and then y'all come on at 8 o'clock.
8:39. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So peace and black power family. Thank everybody for tuning in. For those of y'all who gave donations, thank y'all. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Who support the channel. Appreciate it. On y'all way out, can y'all please thumb up the video? And we out of here. Peace, y'all.
Scroll. Kimmy teacher, ancient truths in the soul. Not by the queen, her crown never bends. Wisdom in her voice, the cosmos ascends. Jabari the veteran, the bass sharp as blades. Dr. Reggie from the Bronx, history's cascade. Apostle Bible soldier, scriptures in his veins. Santana general, war cries like chain. You need tough skin. Where the battle begin. Source up your information. I'm a thick ass kid. Hey, okay. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Okay. Hey, okay. The toughest environment, the toughest environment, the toughest environment to be in. Uncle Rage made a fire in his stare. Inky undefeated, a legend beyond compare. Moses 777, numbers align. Transfer me a prophet, stardust divine. I saw the fanboy with faith in his stride. Task got the Hebrews, the tide it'll ride. Each name a pillar, each voice a storm. In the temple of debate where truth is born. Strings cry out, violence wail. 808's thunder, breaking the veil. Human beatbox echoes through the fight. HOK warriors, their words ignite.